So you have returned from interrogating Toad to the Blue Water Inn in Vallaki, and Harleen has disappeared off to basically have it out with Isaac about what's all this bull about him being her brother, etc., etc. And you find that Antoinette has woken up and wandered down the stairs. So as a brief overview of things you know so far, you know that Isaac is drunk and unhappy about the fact that there's been any kind of a murder in Vallaki. There have been no murders when all was well in Vallaki, and this is probably all down to the fact that there's a power vacuum and he's not happy about actually having to do some work. He saw a Vistani gentleman who should not have been within the walls of the city talking to Toad Arasek, the 15-year-old boy who works at the stockyard. When approached, the Vistani man bolted and did a runner, and Isaac chased after him, tripping over the feet of Yolanda Arasek, Toad's adoptive mother, whose feet were sticking out from behind a woodpile. She was very dead. The most obvious suspect in this crime is the 15-year-old, obviously, who is now in jail and due to hang tomorrow morning unless you can bring a suspect, a motive, and a weapon, because you need more evidence than he does, because he can just hang the person he's already got. Okay. You've examined the body of Yolanda that is currently at the church and determined that she was killed with a hammer blow to the head from a hammer bigger than a tinkerer's hammer and smaller than a war hammer. Potentially that used by blacksmith, carpentry, and things like that. You've interviewed Toad, who has told you that lots and lots of people rent space at the stockyard and come and visit. Some are nicer than the others. And Isaac showed up and yelled at the man and chased him off. And he found my mother behind the woodpile and someone killed her. And I love my mom. And please find who did it. He tells you that his dad is at the stockyard. His dad has not been to visit him yet in jail. His name is Gunther, and he owns the stockyard. Yolanda used to keep all the books. Okay?
So Yolanda is the mom of the...
So Yolanda and Gunther were married and adopted Toad from the orphanage. Okay? She did the accounts. He ran the stockyard. Toad kind of helped out. You know that there was a Vistani gentleman that he was talking to, and from the description of said Vistani gentleman, you recognise the same Vistani gentleman that came to the coffin maker's shop when you were dealing with the vampires, trying to buy the bones of St. Andrel. You know that he also bought those bodies that turned out to be vampires to the coffin maker's shop. You let him go with a see you later, Henrik's busy. So you know about that bones, and you know that he brought those bodies in. So you know that about Vistani. You know that Henrik van der Groot was nice to Toad, and that sometimes Toad helped carry his stuff to the coffin maker shop. You also know that Henrik van der Groot is dead because you were there when he died, and the Toads ate him. So you know it can't be Henrik. But Isaac doesn't know that Henrik's dead. Just before you if that becomes relevant in how you frame your... He's not been seen for... It's a number of days. I mean, we're not talking he's been gone for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks.
I have.
Okay.
How long ago she's died?
How long ago she's died? So it looks like she'd only been dead... you'd ascertained probably a number of hours before she was found. Okay. He's also told you that Ernst Lanak came. He never says hello. He's quite distant and aloof. He's always meeting people in the stockyard at night and moving barrels into his shed. And you know that he's got something to do with Fiona Watcher because he was leaving Fiona Watcher's house the first time you all went to visit. You know the Rictavio, the circus master, whose monkey you brutally murdered many episodes ago, because he lent his Piccolo the monkey to Blinsky. He killed the monkey.
We is a strong term. One of us.
Ethard, we killed the monkey.
On a solo misadventure.
Yep. He keeps his circus wagon in the stockyard. He's very nice and sometimes tells me stories and sings me songs. Okay. Then there's Koenig Halflinger. He is the owner of the cart and wheel that you've never been to. And apparently he brings candy, which may or may not make him suspicious.
What's his name?
Koenig, Konik, Halflinger. He runs the cart and Halflinger. He runs the cart and horses, which is the sort of wagon, cart, horse merchant in town.
Like they
Then-
sell horses and stuff.
Yeah, they sell horses and repair wagons, make wheels, that kind of thing. Then there's Scran Ragnar, who you know. He's the owner of Scran's Leather and Hides. He's the father of Zuleika the werewolf. You've decided he's nice because he gave you armour.
Oh no.
He gave Toad a leather pouch. He also told me I need to keep an eye out for bad people and let my parents know if I see any. Okay. Unwin Martikov, so the owner and operator of the Blue Water Inn that you spend lots of time with. He always has me load up the barrels in his wagon, and he gives me a copper each time I give him any help. And I keep the coppers in the pouch that Scran gave me. Okay. You also know that Unwin Martikov is a were-raven, and he's leader of the Keepers of the Feather, which is an order against Strahd. Okay. So you don't think it's him because you like them, and they've always been nice. Okay. Then over here, you've got Horik Ginch, who you've also met, who works at Thimdall's Armaments, which is the smithy. Yeah. He's mean, calls him Tadpole. Okay. He doesn't like him.
Is he the one who ripped off Ethridge with the silver dagger?
No, it was the owner he just works there. He was just really stroppy, didn't really say much to you. The owner of Thimdall's Armaments, Thimdall the blacksmith,
Also
didn't rip off Ethridge. He charged him exactly what he said it was going to cost.
Didn't rip him off.
He
That
didn't
was
rip
a
him
bit
off.
It was a bit rude about it.
You thought he was going to get a discount, but then the weapon needed sharpening, which was the remaining cost. Yes. And then there's Zoldar and Yvengi. It's fine. SZOLDAR. And Yegveni. I can just send you the PDF.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'd already thought of this.
I'm sorry.
And they're wolf hunters, and you saw them last night actually drinking in the far table of the Blue Water Inn. And they go just hunting wolves. And he said they're mean, and they say mean things or throw rocks at me. And they come here sometimes, but they're mean and they throw rocks. So
Throwing rocks
Evil.
at a kid is pretty mean.
Evil.
evil. Okay, so that's what you know.
I got something I can throw out.
So.
Alright, so what's our plan?
So I have assumed you've come back to the Blue Water Inn. Antoinette's woken up and discovered that somehow she's back in Vallaki.
Someone put me in a strange bedroom.
She's woken up. Harleen has disappeared
Just a
off.
coffin in the corner for completely normal reasons.
Harleen has gone, I'm going to go and sort my brother out. This is ridiculous.
A coffin nailed
How
to
dare
the
he want to murder young boys who have done nothing wrong. So she stormed off to go and find Izek
Good for
and
Harlan.
sort out, what the hell he's playing at. And so it's sort of mid-morning in the Blue Water Inn, and you've brought Antoinette up to speed with, you have a day. The kid hangs at sunrise tomorrow. It's about, 10 in the morning, 10:30 in the morning. Godot's blind. His raven is currently flying somewhere to try and find some belladonna. May or may not return. Who knows?
I will know if it dies, won't I?
Yes,
It's a familiar one.
because you would know if it dies.
Okay.
As yet, you have not felt it die.
That's encouraging.
These guys, what I think is what we try. What I think we need to do is we need to stop that boy from getting hung. That's just, we can't have that. So what I think what we're doing. Yes.
The boy clearly doesn't have the mental capacity for murder.
And he also said, you know, what things their mom? I don't even know my mom, but I wouldn't do it.
I don't have a mum.
Upon seeing Antoinette like moving around again,
Yep.
Vash will use his Eldritch Sight to see if there's anything particularly animating the doll, or whether it just a soul jumps in at all. He wants to know how this works.
Okay.
He's very curious.
From all intents and purposes, this is a living being. Unlike one you've ever... It doesn't appear to be like a magically, arcanely run marionette, for example.
I have a small question. You were inanimate for a short period of time.
I was inanimate for a long period of
Well,
time.
In the period I've known you, you've been animate and then inanimate. And animate again. Where did you go?
I don't know. I think when I'm not here, it's because no one wants to play with me. I'm only alive when people want to play with me.
It's rather disturbing.
Makes as much sense as anything else today.
I
I'm sorry.
What are you?
I don't know.
Antoinette,
Yeah, Malachi's got
would you
real trouble
mind
with
if I just cast a small spell on you? I'm just very curious about how all this works.
Okay.
And I'll sit down for 10 minutes next to Antoinette and I'll cast Identify.
She just sits there inanimately.
So you like a Pinocchio.
Basically, yeah, she's a wooden puppet.
This is the first time I've played
Yeah.
this campaign,
Yeah.
so
Can I give a brief description?
Yeah, so she was inanimate. Dren was, not Dren, sorry. Vash was carrying her over his shoulder. So you've seen her when you met at the war caves when the were-ravens took you up there for causing way too much trouble with the twins in town and were just like, get the hell out of my pub and go and find your friends. You saw her, like Vash was carrying this doll, like over his shoulder, but you've not seen her speak. This is new.
Okay, so the main line for Identify that I'm using for
Yep.
this is if the item was created by a spell, you learn what spell created it.
Okay.
I'm basically Victorian-looking doll. Looks very old and shabby, kind of
yeah.
paint pulling
You
up
can
a little bit. It's
cast
got a
identify people
parasol
to find
and a
if
little
there's a curse
Victorian
on them or what
outfit
spells affect
on.
them. So I would assume being a animated
Oh yeah, it's
doll, it might give you some insight.
It's called the Conjuring.
There's a
whole
bunch.
series about series
Fair enough.
that
Not
kind
for
of
you.
based off like this real couple.
They're not.
It's so interesting.
There you go.
What I think we should do, guys,
It's the closest
So
thing I
like-
could find. But
we should go talk.
Conjuring's pretty accurate.
We should go talk to Gunther first and see what he thinks, and then maybe we split and go and talk to different people.
I agree with the child.
A hell of a name.
I think
We've
it's-
My
been together
apologies.
for like over a year. Oh no, hang on, you have.
No,
You
this is
you have to forgive us
this
for
is
being
Godo
here.
who's just arrived. Godo has been with you for a total of about 9 hours.
all these new
Godo.
people.
yeah,
One further question.
Yes.
You had in your possession Queenie's belongings, yeah?
Yes.
They had a book.
That's what we had to do, yeah.
They were holding it for me. I'd like
We
it.
haven't done.
There was no book. I did not see your friend. I found a pile of the lovely rock I gave you and my charming walking stick here, but I did not. There was no book. Was it important?
Very.
Well, I'm sure these things turn up. I find when I lose things.
Oh, no, I didn't lose it. Queenie was holding it for me.
Well, I
thought
find
that it would be with the rest of Queenie's belongings.
not as such. Godo will feel through a pack and go. There was this and pull out a half-empty bottle of wine, but that was
definitely
about
does.
all.
Interesting.
I will keep
So-
a proverbial
So
eye.
when you check the tracks, there wasn't any evidence of anything. There wasn't like a pile in the snow. The tracks stopped in a clearing between two trees. Godot came out of that clearing with the staff
Mhm.
and a random green gem and half a bottle of wine. There, you didn't find any clothing. You didn't find any packs. You
know
didn't
exactly what I'm looking
find
Clearly,
anything
the
else.
history of the Fanes of Barovia, the only book that you're interested
for. No.
in.
So there were. So didn't
Powerful
find.
spell.
Well, then we should begin by interrogating all the suspects.
Let's talk to Gunther first.
Gunther. Why Gunther first?
Well, because if we don't know anything about these people, so at least he has, and we know, well, we think it's fairly likely that Gunther is not the killer.
Gunther's the kid, right?
Gunther's the dad.
Oh, the dad.
And now
The husband.
the widower. And he might be able to shed some light, who did your wife talk to, who did she...
Yes.
you know,
Yes, I
that's probably-
agree. Yes. And then split up and search for clues.
So how are you going to get them?
I am going to split up with someone.
That would be
like
advisable.
this. Although, on the other hand, we said about a day for this belladonna to get back, didn't we? With one less in the party, this is suddenly much more unpleasant. Let me pitch something here that's going to be a pain.
You may be able to recall your familiar. How far?
Can Antoinette lean over and be like, I can help you see? And she grabs your hand.
Yes, thank you. No, the issue is not so much that I can cast Beast Sense using Primal Awareness as a ranger feature. Can I track down a rat or something like that? And what I'd like to do then is just pretty much just hold it and use Beast Sense and use it as a torch to see out the eyes of.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that.
Yeah, I'd allow it.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you could absolutely do that. So you cast B-Sense, and you there's a stable out the back of here,
it's
and
that.
in the straw of the stable, there's a number of rats.
So what I need to do is catch one because I can only do this once a long rest and it only lasts an hour.
Yes.
So I'm gonna save that for like if we get into a fight or something.
Okay.
Excuse me, please, and then comes back with just this unpleasant rat. My animal handling's not fantastic.
Okay.
Did the identify to anything?
What do you think? So,
I don't know, but you would probably... Does it give an aura or anything? I don't know.
It discerns what one kind of magic's involved.
I'd say probably conjuration.
yeah, probably.
Yeah. And you might spot, if you're staring at her for a long time, the shadows around her. It's almost like the strings from above her.
Or you can't touch it.
There's no strings on there.
Yeah.
Not all.
No strings.
Not Ultron.
Yeah.
So you also know that on her foot, scrawled on the bottom of her foot is Inofan Inoblinsky. So you know that at least at some point this was a Blinsky marionette doll. It has the appropriate level of creep, like spooky
I'm a very
creepiness
early model.
for a Blinsky doll, and the sort of marionette puppets that he makes. So you know at some point this doll was crafted, but you don't feel that this has been animated by a spell as such. This isn't somebody has cast some kind of animated spell. That this is an alive creature that was at least once a Blinsky doll. You're not quite sure how that's happened, and there are 100 odd dolls of Harleen knocking around, so you're kind of hoping that this isn't like some contagious phenomenon.
That would be hilarious.
I think she would freak out.
Likely so.
Okay.
Forgive my intrusion. Your origin's interesting.
They interest me too.
Well, perhaps we can find it out together.
Have you seen the shop of balloons?
Long ago, I remember sitting there and I saw.
Oh, good. Really good vibes for that. Shall we speak with the farmer? Do we know where they are?
Has she told us that you're in the shop or whatever? What was it?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, she told you when you were fighting the werewolves and you cast loads of fire and really scared her.
They at the stable, presumably.
Yes, were they wagon makers, Gunther and his wife?
No, so Gunther runs the stockyard. So he runs the stockyard. Yep.
So let's go see Go to the stockyard.
Okay.
Internet will skip after you.
Someone's
Okay.
just been killed. You're skipping off to the stockyard.
Yeah, that's about right.
Just
Go to that thing old people do where they just suddenly put their hand on a child's shoulder to be led somewhere with absolutely no acknowledgement of telepathy.
Okay.
Are they old?
A little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
Ethelred's good with older people because he was very good friends
No,
with
they
our
have,
monk.
they have like a hood.
So as a child, Ethelred was particularly good with the elderly, having looked after Mr. Zephyr Sir for
Mr. Zephyr.
quite a long time.
Ah, yes, yeah.
I'm definitely younger than Mr. Zephyr.
Okay.
I'm not.
So you come to the outskirts of the stockyard. There's pretty tall walls. There's a building here that you can't really see into at all. There's no windows, and you see a door at what looks like a kind of gatehouse at the entrance to the stockyard in front of you.
Let's explain what is the stockyard.
So this is like a big, almost like a big sort of warehousing storage facility. So it's kind of like 24-hour storage, but instead of shipping containers, it's more, sheds. So you can store your wagon, you can store your horses, you can store stuff for your shop that you don't want in the shop, extra stock, you can have deliveries there. People rent space, they stable their horses there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Medieval.
Yeah.
Saw your collection strike weekly, mate.
Yeah, that is, yeah. So you sort of head down and go on.
Can I have used arcane recovery before we left?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So there's a building here that you would presume to be the sort of the house.
Jono will go up and knock on the door.
Oh, that's remarkably polite of you.
Looks sad, everyone. Looks sad. His life.
Antoinette's got a big smile on her face.
So the door opens and there's a slightly older disheveled man. He's got a hood up. He looks like he's not slept. He's got dark circles under his eyes. He's got a scraggly beard. And he's like, "What can I do for you? We're shut at the moment. We're shut."
Mister, I'm awfully sorry to hear about what happened. But do you mind if we ask you some questions to try and see what's going on here?
Well, what's it to do with you?
We are.
I mean, they've taken Toad away. Isaac seems to think he's done it.
It may not be the final resolution.
Do you really think the boy taken such a thing?
He absolutely did not.
That's
There's
just-
no reason for him to have killed her. He loved Yelena. He wouldn't harm a hair on her head.
We believe you.
So I would try and save his life. So if you can give us any information on some of those people who come to the stockyard, that would be great.
And he sort of nods and invites you in.
I'll put you a cup of tea before we start.
He smiles and goes, Yelena would not appreciate it if I was not hospitable. I will make the tea. And he goes and busies himself in the kitchen.
He's very adamant the boy didn't do it.
As
His father would be.
well, and
Friends.
as our all our magic confirms, was not.
I don't think Isaac is terribly concerned on who to punish, just someone needs to be.
Can I, while they're in the kitchen, I'd like to use one of my ranger features to find out if there's.
I'll pop my Eldritch Sight to see if there's any magic nearby.
Okay.
Nope, never mind. I don't have that.
Or to see if he's under the effect of anything.
Okay. He's not under any effects, and there's certainly nothing magical within this building.
Can I investigate? Are there any images of Yelena? Is it?
Yeah, Yolanda, there is what looks to be a sort of not beautifully done, but crudely done painting on the wall, and you sort of recognise he's the man in this photo, and you recognise, well, you don't recognise, but they would recognise Toad as a younger Toad, and then this woman with sort of dark hair that looks vaguely similar to the bloodied corpse that you found in the church. So, yes, there is a picture of...
Does anything look like it's been moved recently?
Roll perception.
15?
Doesn't seem to have been, no.
We have our list of suspects, which I can't read.
Thanks. Maybe
Not
you're
well.
Who can read? You can read.
Gotta lax the eyes.
Probably lack the reading comprehension.
So you could just ask him some generic questions and he will probably tell you stuff if you're nice to him. I mean, he's pretty...
Well, I think I'll start by reading out the list of the names that we already have.
Yep,
And see if
okay.
there's any other names that we don't have that we should be looking into.
And he goes, I don't know of anyone else. Elaine, she had no enemies. No one would want her dead. She was a wonderful, wonderful woman. And he turns away quickly, and you think he might be sort of a tear escaping his eye.
I'll put a hand on his shoulder.
I'll rip a rag off my clothes to the company and then offer it up.
He
I'm sorry.
takes it uneasily. He's like, well, Yelena saw Ernst speaking with someone a couple of days back. She believed it of Vistani. I told her that she must have been seeing things. That was ridiculous. The Vistani aren't allowed in Valaki. Why would they be in the stockyard?
What is Ernst's profession?
Oh, I don't really know. He's I see him around town. He seems to work for or with Fiona Watcher.
That.
He'd be out of the job, I imagine.
Why would he be out of a job?
Lady Watcher has been missing these last days, has she not?
Oh, yeah. The business up in the town did that.
So I heard.
Yes.
I'll just go kill him first. Okay. What about the two people? What are they? The ones on the right there.
Soldar and
Yeah.
Yevensky. Oh, they stable their horses in the stockyard. They come down sometimes, messing about, usually drunk. They sleep here sometimes.
Do you think they could be malicious enough to do something like this? Do you want?
I wouldn't have thought anyone malicious. If I thought anyone who had lodgings or had stablage and storage here could do my wife harm, then I wouldn't have given them the time of day, let alone allowed them a place at the stockyard.
Of course.
What about Horrick Inch?
He works at the blacksmith in town. He has a store here. He comes down sometimes to collect wood for the furnace and some supplies. They're stored here.
It seems like a lot of what you're telling us is stuff that we've already found out from your son. So.
Well, he knows as many people as come here as I do. He looks after the place and sweeps the yard and you know.
Why haven't you gone and seen him? Children need friends.
And he at this he sits down and he sort of buries his face in his hands and he goes, I just cannot let him see me like this, and if he dies, then I have no one, and with Yelena gone, and if I do not know who killed her, and I cannot get him out of jail, and he will see me as a failure, as a father. Yeah, I didn't protect his mother, and I can't protect him right now. I will try and visit him later.
Would not see you as these things. Seeing you would be a comfort.
But before you go and see him, could we maybe have a look at some of the storage sheds, if that's the word, but stuff of some people on our list?
Yes. If you think it would be helpful, I'm happy for you to look around. It's not a problem. Absolutely.
Do you need keys to get into the stocks?
I will take you. I can show you where they found her body. If that would be helpful, you think?
And then when we are done, your boy needs his father.
Okay, I will go and I will go and visit him.
If I cast Zone of Truth on someone, do they
Yep.
know that's been cast upon them?
Yes.
Okay. Do we think this guy's lying at all?
His story's matching up with his son's.
Yeah. Alright. I'll say that for now.
To explain, Bash's dad is his patron.
Go with insight check.
I have +0 to insight, so I cannot. But someone else should do that.
I've got. Oh well.
Someone should do an insight check.
The high
Wisdom caster.
Not me.
I believe everything this guy says.
Bash has no reason to disbelieve in his story matches up with his son.
I believe nothing is a rule, but we'll see how that goes.
So
So I got 23 on insight.
you don't detect anything other than a very genuine, grieving man who's trying to figure out where his life's suddenly gone to shit, I think would be the sort of summary. So the stockyards is pretty big. It's a sort of a huge, big, almost like an open arena, surrounded by sheds, most of which are closed. There's a big wagon in the centre that appears to be growling at you.
What's growling
I'm
at
gonna
us?
go check that out.
What's growling at us?
The big wagon that's right next to you, just to the north
Ooh,
there.
a little slower.
Yeah, my detect magic's back up.
There doesn't appear to be anything magical imminently around.
Can I do a nature check to identify what the growling is?
Yes, you can.
It's a jackal.
I'm gonna portent that to make it a 19.
If it's any help, it's not magic.
With a sorry.
19.
You think this sounds very much like the growl of a tiger,
Sometimes
and a
people-
large tiger at that.
I would stay clear. That sounds like a large cat.
Warden Klein and Spectral Watch.
Is there any windows to this wagon that I could go look at? Or rather, is there a latch
With
to the
your
door?
eyes?
There are presumably other people.
Can I message into the mind of the creature in the wagon?
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, you could try.
Do we know whose this
Yeah,
is?
I'm just gonna speak in whatever's, because it's within range message. So I'm just gonna point into the carriage and speak in whatever's mine. Are you a friend?
Meow, meow,
There's,
meow.
there's this huge, very loud, from not in your head, definitely from the wagon, and
Does
and
not
and the
sound friendly.
and the sound
will-
of pacing around this wagon, and you can see the wagon
Remember
rocking
the
and
friendly.
What's
moving.
she doing?
Of course I am. I'm very happy to meet you.
Dodo will say, I hate doing this, and I'm going to cast Speak with Animals.
Oh no.
Remember the werewolves?
Hello?
Some things are trying to hurt you.
Hello,
Yes. Are you stuck in there?
I live in here.
Who put you there?
Rictavio.
Ah. Any
Well,
particular reason?
He feeds me.
Oh, good. You're happy?
Happy enough.
Hmm. I could let you out if you liked.
Oh my god, how much do you want to ruin this guy's life?
No?
I'm.
Alright,
You
it's
could,
fine, it's
if
just
you
decided.
see Rictavio,
Yes, I can take a message.
could you let him know I'd appreciate some more steak
More
if
steak.
he has time.
Certainly.
I know he's very busy, but some steak would be fabulous.
Very well.
I am getting hungry.
Tell me, while I've got you, have you seen anything suspicious around here?
Well, people come and go. It's all hours of the day and night, usually when you're trying to get some sleep.
Terribly inconsiderate.
Some of them louder than others. It's very difficult to see out of here. There's just these very small bars right at the very top, primarily to let the air in. The only time I see out is when Rictavio comes to feed me, and we do a bit of work, and then puts me back in the wagon.
Right, very well. All right, well, thank you very much. No, it's fine. This is the circus master's trick. It wants some more steak, but otherwise.
Check out these storage spaces.
Yeah, so
Do we know which units belong to which people?
Gunther could tell you which units belong to which
I'm
people.
constantly refreshing Eldritch Sight.
Okay, no worries.
I'd love to head to Zolodar and Uvenskis while I've still got Speak with Animals up, if possible.
You want to go to?
The hunters, if while
Okay.
I've still got Speak with
You want to go speak to
Yeah, let's
the horses? Okay.
The horses.
Yeah.
Okay. So the stables you can hear the horses. There's quite a lot of stamping and whinnying, primarily associated with the really loud roaring that's just come out of the circus wagon in the centre. While you're sort of heading in that general northerly direction, Gunther says they found her over there, behind the log pile, and he points to this sort of log pile over here. She was just lying there, apparently.
Are there any horses stabled within like line of sight of the back of that log pile at all?
From the back of the log pile, there's 3 stables up there. Probably not really within line of sight.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll still go have a chat.
I'll go have a look at where
Equine
the log
witness,
pile.
very useful.
I'll go have a look where the body was found.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to do
Investigation.
some investigating as well.
Okay. So you head down to the log pile, and you see essentially a giant pool of blood, and what looks like some drag marks, where the either it looks like she's been dragged into there, so through the blood. So it looks like she was hit and then put behind the logs, rather than clubbed behind the logs.
Follow where she was dragged from.
Yeah, you can.
Mr. Gunther, can anybody get into this storage area, or do they have to come through the office first?
Well, they're supposed to come through the office first, but lots of our regulars will have a key. They come, they get deliveries at all the times of the day and night. I can take you around if you want to. That would be helpful, and show you round. Or I could, I guess, go to the jail and see as he towed.
Maybe if you can, do you have like a list of who owns what storage shed and a set of keys, and we can go do that if you want to, or you can show us around.
I can tell you which everything is, if that would be helpful. So, and then he sort of goes from the top. So what I'll do is I'll just make this full vision, and then it's easier to see. Let's turn the lighting off.
Yeah, that sounds
That sounds like a great idea.
Well, give everybody the key.
It's the privacy.
You're doing
Okay.
wrong, and I think looking for the murder weapon.
There we go. So there you go.
Find the murder weapon, you're like, ooh, that's better.
I know, I'm
Or
nice like
just
that.
like any other.
Okay, so up there, and he's pointing, so coming around here. So up there, those are the stables. Lots of people use those, really. This one here, that's Ernst's storage place there. Yeah. The next one down, that's where Scran from the leather and hide shop. That's where he stores all of his supplies. This one here is Konix. He works at the Cotton Wheel in Valaki. That's his storage place there. This one over here is the Zoldar and his brother Vengi. That's the brothers
I'll take that one in.
the brothers' place. They store their things down there. Next to them is next to them. Oh, that's ours. So that's mine and the family's. We largely use it for keeping old furniture that's broken that we can't get round to getting rid of, repairing or selling, on whatever the equivalent of eBay would be. This would be the Burgomaster's stores.
Oh,
This would be the Burgomaster's stores.
yeah.
Down here, that's the stables, the Watcher family. They stable their horses down here. Round down here, that's the Martikov Blue Water Inn. That's where they store all of their supplies. Then round here, that's like some general overflow ways. This one up here, that one's vacant and available for rent. And then we've got Rictavio. He has his wagon, but he's also got this one up here that he keeps his personal effects in. And then right at the top, that one belongs to Henrik van Groot, the coffin shop owner. He keeps all his extra wood and things in there. Otherwise the shop becomes littered with belongings.
Well, Emma, to save
Mm.
being here all night,
Yeah.
can we just generally just do an investigation on all of them?
Okay. What are you looking for?
Some sort of obviously, probably not going to find it. Most obviously, some sort of murder weapon.
A blood-encrusted hammer,
Like,
preferably next to a note saying it was me. I did the murder.
anything with traces of blood.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's hay on the floor or whatever.
We're
they
following
do.
the drag pipe.
I'm going to talk with the horses.
Okay.
But I would also love to look at Rictavio's storage
So I
locker.
think rather than
I'll
go
go to Rick
each
Tubbs.
individual one, we'll just say general.
Roll
Look
a
at-
collection. Roll one set of investigation checks if you're going to go and investigate the whole lot,
Everyone.
Alright.
and then I'll tell you what you find.
Can I burn 1, 2, 3, 4? Can I burn my last spell slots to give everyone advantage with?
Natural 20.
Never mind. I also don't have the
Yes,
spell
never
slots.
happened.
Okay.
Alright, we're relying on you.
What did you say?
That's
Investigation?
still only a 22.
So what are you doing? Are you giving us a bad?
No, I can't. I can give. If anyone rolls
Mine's
really
a
badly, I
dirty
can
20.
do it person to person.
Okay.
on
So
average.
natural 20, a dirty 20,
21 as well.
21, 21.
Mine's a 9.
Roll
9.
it again.
Roll it again. Oh,
Yep.
Okay.
You know what?
Uh,
Roll
silver
D8
dice.
roll with Bardic Inspiration.
Roll a D8 as
Roll
well.
D8.
Ooh, that's a dirty 20.
Okay. So
Good rolls.
I'll tell you where you find them at some other time. So far, you have found, Chris, a blowgun and a disguise kit.
Nice.
Highly suspicious.
You found dirty 20, a dagger, a straight dagger.
No, obviously got Eldritch Sight.
Yep.
So just a regular dagger.
Regular dagger and a regular set of darts.
Like throwing darts or for the
Throwing
blowgun?
darts.
Right.
Not
Okay.
a bad thing to have.
Where are we now? 21?
21.
Yeah.
Throwing darts. Okay.
Roll a d20 and a d20. Both of you, yeah.
Who found the disguise kit?
That's a 9.
Okay. Okay. You find a hammer encrusted in blood.
Nice.
Where was it?
I'll tell you in a minute. So you can finish searching, because you're searching the whole lot simultaneously. So you found a hammer encrusted in blood. You've also found a bullseye lantern, which
Yeah,
was
not
less
bad
useful
They have a cone
instead of a radius. So they're useful for sneaking.
Yeah.
You turn it away.
Watcher's lantern.
Yeah, so they're useful for sneaking because they don't cast a radius of light. Godot, you found some bagpipes.
I'm glad
You could tell that they were bagpipes because you're searching blind, and you sort of yes, exactly that.
I have not got proficiency.
And then you slipped on
Trying to
you
learn.
slipped on what appeared to be a collection of ball bearings.
Oh, I'll grab a stat. This is people's stuff, isn't it?
It's just random stuff, yeah, stuff you found. And then Antoinette, you found a drum.
Having a
I
moment.
found a drum.
A drum.
I'd have to teach you how to play music.
And needles for a blowgun.
You're a bard.
Huh?
You're a bard.
No, but I can teach you. I can play any music.
I just start banging on the drum and singing a haunting nursery rhyme.
You
1, 2.
so you find the
I could basically play guitar.
you find the murder weapon.
Wait, hold on.
Let's see.
It's
Oh, Malachi finds the murder weapon. Let's go down. So let me tell you where it was.
Which doesn't tell us that they were the
1,
murderer.
2, 3.
I mean, necessarily.
So where was that?
Well, we're getting there.
So the hammer was in this one here.
Ernest.
Yep.
Of course.
Cold. Yeah, but someone could have put that there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
it
Could have
does.
put it there to frame him.
If they've already framed a kid, they could
Which is why I'm going to talk with the horse.
So no, so sorry. So Ernst is here. Ernst is there. So this is the guest stables. Then Ernst. Yeah. Then Scran. Yeah. Then Koenig.
Yeah.
So you found it in the
Was that the person?
the wolf hunters,
Oh,
the
wolf
twins
hunters.
Ah.
Shade
shed. Yeah. So that's where you found what appears to be a bloodied hammer, which may or may not be relevant. And then you've also found a random collection of other things in everybody's possession. You
Very possible.
Only I had good for
Is there anything else in the Wolf Hunters line that we can see that's interesting?
say that again. Sorry.
In the Wolf Hunters shed, is there anything else you see that's interesting?
Roll an investigation check. Now you're all searching in there.
Oh, cool. I see
Are we
nothing.
all rolling in there?
Roll it with advantage.
Wait, whoever's going to go and
Have a look.
pull out.
I have spell slots exclusively for silver.
So in the you find lots of wolf pelts. You find a couple that have been cleaned really badly, so they're almost like bloody carcass still stuck on there.
Werewolf pelts or just wolf pelts?
They look more like just wolf, but they've just been skinned. This hasn't been done by anybody really talented. You'd reckon that Scran would be absolutely horrified at the sort of mess they've made of this.
These guys are terrible.
Do we think the blood on the pelts is wolf blood?
I will definitely sniff the blood to see if I can identify the blood.
Yep.
Taste test.
Where are we at with forensic analysis? If we get scrapings of the dried blood off the hammer and the pool of blood behind the
Kind of
logs,
check
can we
would that be
like
perception because of sense of smell of the
Fingerprint
blood?
analysis.
fingerprint
You could do it,
analysis?
yeah, if you go
Gotta
do
pull
smell
that
and taste,
enormous
you could do
nice
perception.
glass that remembers their
That
mind.
would be
Takes a sketch.
21.
It's definitely wolf blood. This is always definitely not human. You would say they smell the same as some of the wolves that you met when you were
Regular
out.
wolf blood.
Mr. Gunther, sir, have you seen Zoldar and Yevgeny recently?
Well, not desperately recently. They've been out hunting. They got back a day or so ago. They're usually either they put stuff in here and then they go into town and drink normally.
Where do they normally drink?
You saw them last night in the Blue Water
I
Tavern.
want to talk to the horses before my
Yep.
sleeping animals is up, just by the way.
Okay, so are you talking to general townsfolk's horses, or are you talking to at the top or the top horse at the bottom?
Watcher's horses seems like they would have had a view of where the body was.
Yep.
Can I go talk with them? And
Yep, you can go and talk to the Watcher's horses.
Were you here? Did it happen this morning or yesterday?
It'll be day before. Yeah.
Were you here the day before yesterday? Any of you?
I've been here for days. Nobody has taken us out for days.
There's been some trouble in town, unfortunately. I'd be willing to let you out, but could you answer a few of my questions?
Are
first?
you going to feed us?
Yes. I can feed
Nobody
you.
has been here for days.
There's some lucerne around or something, is there?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Otto
High
will,
quality Barovian hay. Yeah.
Otto will pick up some hay, hold it very far away from their nose, and start feeding some the horses.
Oh, I suppose this will have to do if you've got nothing better.
I've got.
Bash will-
Can I dig through my rations and have apple or fruit in there or something? I could.
If you can
Bash will
find
float you over an apple. You have.
Oh, very very helpful. I've got an apple for anyone who can answer my questions.
and they're more interested, and they
that's
start.
fine.
Behind that log there was a someone was there was a body.
His character Valgus was obsessed with apples.
There was a
Yes.
body,
Did you see who put it there?
a man,
What did they look like?
a man.
Yes. Did they have black hair or blonde hair?
What colour was their mane?
Yes. I'll point to a blonde
Emily,
horse.
do you know what colour the mane was on the man who moved the body?
God, I hate talking
That's why you do plans. They're much more sensible. No, well, I think he was wearing a hood, wasn't he, Sandra? Yes, he was, Emily. He was wearing a hood. Maybe we should just say black, because then we'd maybe get this
Okay.
apple.
For the apple, were they this tall, this tall, this tall, or this tall?
Oh, how tall were they, Emily? Well, they were tall enough to ride me, but they didn't, and they didn't bring me
That's
any
looking
carrots or any sugar lumps or anything.
Okay, here's the apple, and I'll toss it vaguely in the direction of one of the horses.
Bonk! It bounces off the hill. God's sake! We're trying to help.
Doing a very good
It all
job.
sounds like it comes from Yorkshire.
There.
They're not Yorkshire horses.
Animals incredibly frustrating.
Depends on the animal. I mostly I end speaking animals. I mostly kill them. There's not a lot of chatting usually.
I skip past and I say, anything not made of wood is an animal.
This could be fun.
I mean, technically they're correct.
I
Technically.
I want to see Emma talking all these different animal voices.
Technically.
see Queenie had talk with animals at will. Now I can only do it once per long rest
Oh,
for
okay.
10 minutes. So it's a lot
Lion, a
less.
sword isn't an animal.
I think they meant anything animate.
Right, moving right along.
See, the furbugs of my home take a similar approach, although not in the weird wood way, just in that
We
they're
have
all
we
the
have a
same
bloody weapon, clearly.
Yes, that's probably.
This is enough to start with. Let's go see those two guys.
Just out of curiosity before we do, what are we going to say to them?
That if you don't start talking, I'll take the bloody hammer to the.
What kind of hammer
What?
is it, by the way?
Just a
It would
suggestion.
appear to be
Why do you have to talk to them? Dogs?
roll
I can force him to tell the truth.
I
investigation,
can
probably.
read their mind.
Bash, can you taste
21.
the blood on the hammer and see if it's you?
I'm not looking up
What's that?
dried
21.
21, you would think that this is either a carpentry or a blacksmithing hammer. That it looks like it would be used for one of those things.
With that
Is there
knowledge,
something around here that like it could be used for?
well, I was going to
Could it
say,
just be something lying around, or is it something that someone else would?
with that knowledge, does it look like there's a hammer missing from any of the like tool sets in like the smith's shed or anything like
Would it be too big to be leatherworking?
Can
that? No,
So-
there's the leather worker and the smith. Both have
So
hammers.
they all look. So in terms of the size of the hammer, it could be any of those. In terms of this particular hammer, it looks really well used and well worn. So this doesn't look like it's a hammer that's new, that's just come out of a spare set or a new set in a storage shed. This looks like it's a well used tool. You can't tell from looking at it what it's been whacking particularly. So it's still down, but you know it's not a tinkerer's hammer, and it's definitely not a war hammer, and it doesn't look like the stake mallet that Toad described that he uses to put in the boundary fences.
Is there any way I can tell if the blood matches, like by smell?
Did you go to you didn't go to the church,
No, I didn't go.
so you wouldn't be able to know that.
But there is a blood pool.
There
Does it
is a
match the
blood pool. Yep. So you can try.
Okay. What am I rolling?
Be perception.
Can I give the help action?
Please do.
I'm not sure how you're planning on helping him smell the blood pile, but
What I would like to do is use my knowledge as a monster slayer. Presumably, I've studied anatomy.
okay.
I'd like to describe the differences in blood as they happen between people.
Okay. Go for it.
Didn't really help, unfortunately. 12.
Okay.
With advantage.
Goodness.
I rolled really, really bad.
So with a
I have
12,
portents, unfortunately.
with a 12, you know that the blood behind the log pile is human, as opposed to another animal. And with a 12, you can't tell whether or not the blood on the hammer is a match, or whether it's human or another animal. With a 12, it's blood, and there's not enough of it really to. You know, you've checked the wolf blood, you've checked the human blood, and now your nose is just a bit fried.
And it's dried blood, so the smell.
Yeah. So you're just like, it's definitely blood, but I actually don't know what it is. So it could be animal blood, it could be human blood. Don't know.
What would happen if I cast Lesser Restoration on old blood? Would it make it fresh?
Ooh.
And would you let Vash try that roll again? If so.
I would let you burn Lesser Restoration to see whether
Yep.
Lesser Restoration makes blood new again.
I will take my handy walking stick and the hammer and try to cast Lesser Restoration on it. Does anything happen?
You cast Lesser Restoration on the hammer and
On the blood.
on the blood on the hammer. And Gunther's watching this, and just you see all the colour drain from his face as the blood starts to drip off this sort of hammer that you're holding. So yes, you may make the roll again.
That is a 22.
And with the 22, you are fairly sure that this fresh blood and that blood pool match. You would assume it's hers because you haven't actually smelt her blood.
It matches the blood behind the logs.
It does match the blood behind the logs, which is
I'm
definitely human.
assuming it's hers. Unfortunately, churches and I don't get along.
Understandably. And I'll wrap that in cloth or something to keep it preserved.
Okay.
Should we go see?
Terribly sorry you had to see that, Gunther, but we're trying to discover who did this terrible thing.
Thank you. If you don't need me any more here, then I will go to
Just
the.
before we go, do you recognise this hammer at all? Do you know who it might belong to?
He looks like he's trying really hard not to look at it too closely.
In fact, I will, because I've wrapped it up already. I'll unwrap so we can have a look at the hand. Rather than the blood-covered stump.
I don't know. I'm afraid. Yeah. Look at this that clubbed your wife to death. Yeah.
Yes. It's like
You're very kind.
There's this bit where people are like, I can't believe that person's dead, and he just like goes like, you believe it now? And he shows them a picture of the dead body. Like, it's like, I just meant like it's
Okay. So, where are you headed? Where do you want to go?
We'll go talk to the two Hungarian guys.
Okay. Do you know where to find the?
Didn't they say we knew?
They're in
Well, they were. You saw them when you got back from the mountains, and last night before you went to bed, they were drinking at the far end of the bar.
Could ask someone at the bar.
Yeah, we'll see if anyone. Well, that's a starting point.
Okay.
We know where they're going to stop. Damn it, guys!
So you head back to the Blue Water Inn, and the only person in the Blue Water Inn at the moment is Rictavio. There's Unwin Martikov behind the bar. There's nobody else here at the moment.
We asked the barkeep.
You can ask Unwin if you want to.
I'll ask Rictavio.
Are you going to talk to Rictavio?
Prop myself up on a stool and be like, one beer, thanks, barkeep.
Unwin Martikov just looks at you and goes,
The child's ordering for me.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
And as soon as the beer hits the bar, I telekinetically grab it.
I don't even like beer.
I just float it over.
and it's wine because he doesn't serve beer.
The two wolf hunters.
I'll hand that to whoever's closest to me.
Barkeep,
I hand it to Mal.
Yes.
Seen them this morning.
Oh, not this morning. They left. They left late last night after you'd gone to bed.
Where would they be
They-
going at such a time?
Well, they've probably gone home to sleep.
Oh, they'd not stay.
No, they don't stay here. They have a house in
Oh, they live here.
they live in Vallaki.
Oh.
Yes, obviously. Not everybody lives in the Blue Water Inn, you
Yes,
know.
no,
We
I
have
thought
guests.
They were vagabonds.
No,
They were travellers.
not at all. No. They are regulars here by no small means. They hunt wolves. They try and sell the pelts and things to Scran. And he sort of chuckles and he goes, "Yeah, Scran doesn't speak too highly of their work. I mean,
Indeed.
they appear to be good at doing the killing, but not too much at the harvesting."
A very audible scoff from Bash.
Imagine they lack any art of the matter.
I don't think they have what's the word? Finesse.
No, they don't drink like people with finesse, that's for sure. Anyway, how are you? What are you up to?
We're looking for them, actually.
Oh, okay.
Don't
Well,
suppose you'd be willing to give us an address.
He goes, yes, yeah, in the town, off the square. And essentially, yeah. So he gives you directions through places that you would recognise. So through the square, and then Valinsky's shop, and so and the church is it's at the opposite end of town to the church. And there's a house. There's a sort of row of relatively poorer houses. So off to the towards the east gate. And they live down there. And he gives you the sort of address and sort of a hand-drawn map of where to go.
I walk over to Rictavio, or hop over, and I'll just come up next to him, kind of sit on the chair, feet dangling. I'll be like, "You should feed your tigers more steak."
And he looks at you and is totally taken. He's like,
Oh no.
well, what are you, little girl? Amazing.
As soon as Vash sees that Victoria's taken interest, straight up behind her.
I have not seen anything like you before. Have you ever considered running away with the circus, my dear?
No, my friends just tend to run away. I run after them.
Oh, that's lovely. How do you know about the tiger?
That would be me.
Are you a tiger?
No, but I have
I
some
don't run, I stroll. You know
talent
this.
for
My
communication.
Oh, excellent. So
Like
you've
we're
been
not
to the
able to
stockyard?
keep up with.
Yes, we were by there earlier.
Yes. I have my wagon, the circus,
I find
is in town, so to speak, and my tiger is there. Beautiful beast. I hope you didn't let him out.
No,
Your
of course,
tiger
wouldn't
is
dream of
hungry.
it.
Well, my tiger is always hungry, to be quite honest.
Yes.
A hungry animal of that magnitude is probably a bad.
Oh, it's a pussycat, a baby in the general scheme of monsters.
Indeed.
Until you let him out, he's hungry.
A tiger in a town like this, a guard with a spear would have little trouble.
Got to roll a.
That's complete bullshit. You know for a fact that it would kill everyone in the town.
Yeah. Roll. No, roll
Please.
history.
Oh, God. Not the worst thing.
Have some inspiration on that.
Oh, thank you. What's that these days? This
D8.
8? Hell yeah. 12. 14?
Okay. You and your hearing is really good, and you are very sure you know this voice.
Mm-hmm.
And
Rictavio's?
yes, you know this voice, but it doesn't belong to somebody called Rictavio. But you know this. You know this voice from somewhere.
Pardon my asking, I find myself a little shorter sighted than usual. We haven't met, have we? God's way.
I don't think so.
John's
Have you ever been to the circus?
I have been to circuses in my life, yes.
Maybe
Do I see how nervous Victoria just instantly got?
perception or insight, probably. Insight.
Can I also insight?
22. Oh, I'll be turning my back and casting Detect Thoughts.
Okay. So surface thoughts.
Surface Thoughts only.
Surface thoughts are.
I'm not digging.
It's gonna blow my cover. That's what you're getting as surface thoughts. Shit, it's gonna blow my cover. It's gonna blow my cover. Maybe you have seen the show sometime. Maybe that's why you recognise the tiger.
Yes, perhaps.
I'm wondering if you think Rick Tavio was like Richard Tavio.
Richard Tavio.
Vash would use his invisible mage hand to poke Goddo as if to go, keep digging.
Goddo's a bit of an idiot.
Does Goddo recognise that that's what the mage hand digging means?
I don't know if Goddo recognizes. Goddo also has a -2 for charisma, so there's not much digging I'm going to be able to do.
While they're
I'm making
getting
little
interrogated,
tigers on the table.
Oh, they're so delightful. Really, you should run away with the circus. You would be
With-
most welcome.
My minor illusion, I produce stakes in front of all the tigers.
You've never commissioned from the such and such Monster Hunters Guild, have you?
Why on earth would the Monster Guild, the Hunters Union Commissioner, just a plain circus master?
No, the other way around, of course.
Oh.
I was asking if you had commissioned of us.
Oh, well, I have asked for certain creatures, yes.
Perhaps
have-
I've ran a job for you sometime.
Maybe.
I think
I hope it
remember
was
a circus.
successful.
It would have been.
What am I? I'm still reading.
Surface thoughts, same. Just wrap it up. Moving on. Let's get out of here.
is he like fully focused on what he's been after, trying not to slip up?
So he's trying very hard to actually much more obviously
Change the
engage Antoinette as this bizarre sort of doll. Are you a person? Are you a doll? Are you a doll person?
Very long. What about yourself? In Barovia, very long.
So sorry.
I've not found myself in Barovia very long.
While these talk about
Lots of
right
people
into
find
right
themselves in
beside
Barovia for a random reason.
Yes,
It's
I
hard
was
to know.
How long have you been here?
Oh, I have been here a number of months now. A number of months.
Interesting. Would I be able to just kind of think through if this person sounds familiar, if I knew of anyone who disappeared a few months before I came to Velaki? Just kind of do that sort of like mental cross check of like,
Yeah,
does that
yeah,
history?
Probably.
While he's there engaged
Yeah.
talking to this guy,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
can I use sleight of hand to pickpocket him?
Oh,
Please do.
nice.
Please
Can the
do.
Yes.
engagement be a help action?
Yes.
Yeah, the dancing.
The massive distraction that's
Oh,
going
there's a
on.
massive distraction.
He's like, whoa!
Yeah,
He's like got
Have
like
you got advantage?
really good thing.
Oh,
29.
okay. I was going to say
Oh,
you've got your
you're
gloves of
kicking that
thievery
right
on as well, haven't
Yeah.
you? So yeah. So you successfully managed to pick his pockets with no problem at all. The only person that you know that there was a sort of talk about going out hunting and not having come back recently, it's unusual, is Rudolf von Richten.
Well, that's ridiculous. This guy's.
Who is obviously very well known in the
And
Monster Hunters
famously
Guild
like a competent.
and famously
very good at his job.
competent and good at his job.
Yeah.
Yes,
Can I
yes.
just ask, where
No.
did we find the disguise kit?
Where?
Yes.
Which shed?
Oh no! Now you're interested.
Yes.
You,
I wasn't sure it was
You were
something we could
trying
ask.
to keep it close
You
to
could-
there.
so you investigated everywhere in one go. You did find the disguise kit in the circus stores.
Knew it.
Here's where Gotto's at. Either,
Mhm.
obviously, this utter fool isn't Rictavio,
Mhm.
or in the weird chance that that's somehow connected, professional courtesy, I'm going to butt out.
Okay.
Whatever his game is, I think it's unlikely that he's the murderer.
No, but he's up to something else.
He's up to something, but
Can
I
I
think
He's got,
it's...
he's got
Scrutinize
secrets.
whether there's anything, a bit of maybe glue perhaps that looks like he's stuck a wig on.
A false
or-
nose,
Oh.
big black
Um,
nose glasses.
Very good.
Then that would be investigation, and if you want to do it stealthily, that would be investigation and sleight of hand.
Let me
No,
stare at
I'm
your
just
face.
going to.
You're
if
just
I'm
going to
freaking
look.
out, I'm just gonna.
Okay, that's fine.
Bash will lay a hand on her shoulder and add inspiration to that.
Yeah, that's not gonna do much. What's that a D8? Investigation? 12.
Have advantage on that, actually.
Okay.
Silvery barbs. I'm rapidly running out of spell slots here.
That didn't help.
Oh, good. Well, that's
You
good.
know how I roll. Yeah, so that's gonna be a 12.
Okay.
Actually, no. I'm gonna use my, my, what's it called?
You got a sorcery thing back.
No, I'm a reborn, because I couldn't do the pocket
Add the
thing.
d6.
Yeah, add the D6.
It's clearly not meant to be.
No, 14.
Bardic inspiration, racial feature, first level spell
If
slot,
that's just me in a nutshell, yeah.
and a 14.
Have you ever met David?
I'm the new David.
I know,
Just replace it.
Okay, so you can't tell, but you are very suspicious
Okay.
that there's this little bit of hair on the one side that you just really want to just like pick at,
Can I-
just in case it peels.
Can I reach forward and I rip it out? I pull at the hair.
His head kind of.
Even if it's fake hair, it's glued on, which is going to hurt just as
Like
badly.
Mr. Bean.
Probably a little bit more, to be honest.
It's still so much fun, like,
He's like, Digger, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you pulling?
Oh.
What are you doing?
Sorry, it doesn't hurt me.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
Did anything change? As I
He looks very perplexed and confused.
What am I picking up? Because Detect Thoughts is up for 10 minutes.
Detect Thoughts is this what very uncomfortable. He's happy that Godot's sort of backed off a bit. He's worried about what's going on. It's this sort of
He's no
unease,
longer super
worry.
interested, it's more like I'm concerned.
I'm concerned. Like I need to get out of here pretty quickly, away from all these people. It's the sort of.
Would there conceivably be, and if this is unreasonable to Tommy, a passphrase or code phrase or something the guild would have that I could say fairly subtly in conversation to see if they like answer it back? Like obviously not thieves' code sort of thing, but you know that sort of thing of what you say to a fellow member to let you know you're in the guild.
Yeah.
Probably not that. That's a bit. Do you two kill monsters?
Not very
The monsters nod, wink, wink, Masonic handshake.
Yeah. The nudge is as good as a wink to a blind bat.
Yes.
That sort of thing.
You would know that if there is such a thing in the Monsters Guild, then I would be happy for Godot to just know that.
As once we're done here, as people are leaving,
Yep.
Godot will turn around just with everyone else's and say that to them.
Okay.
I'm not sure if everyone else has done it in yet.
Okay.
Oh, I was just about to say.
As
actually,
Vash and
I
Antonetta walk away, Vash
finished
and
my glass at about
Very well done. No longer
and called out to the group.
Okay.
Like, can you stop
Very well
talking
done.
to the circus man, please? I'm trying to save a boy's life.
And he jumps on that and he goes, "Which boy? Who are you trying to save? What's that sounds very important."
Yeah, full time.
There's a boy named Toad.
Oh, he's a lovely lad. A little bit slow, but works hard, loves his parents, all those sorts of things. Nice lad. What's up with Toad?
He'll hang in the morning if.
Why are you hanging Toad in the
We're
morning?
not hanging Toad.
He stands accused of the murder of his mother.
Ciliarm wants to hang him.
Ciliarm.
Izek.
Izek. Oh, he is a beast, that man. Oh, that's ridiculous. Just absolute nonsense. Toad would never do something to hurt his mother. That would be absolutely ridiculous.
As we agree.
So we need to be getting going. Let's go.
Very well,
Those
yes.
bloody bullfighters.
Okay. Are we leaving?
Yeah, we're going to see
As
what-
we've left,
I give like a.
and we're well and truly out of earshot.
Hang on. I'll hang behind for a second as people are leaving. Might I borrow a whetstone from you?
And he
I like that.
he looks and goes, "You may indeed."
I'll nod once and then leave.
As soon as I see Godot, they're onto something. He's hiding something from me.
No, I don't think so.
I read his mind. He's hiding something from me.
He's got
He's
weird hair.
Do you think?
He's convinced you're going to blow his cover.
How odd.
Very.
Where are you headed now?
You being creepy is coming in handy.
The Wolfhunter's house. Yeah, the Wolfhunter's house.
The Wolf Hunter's place. Okay, so you follow the
Oh! With the tech... I said, slap it up.
yes.
Am I picking up anything from it? Am I picking up thoughts?
I like that that's your priority rather than Godot
No.
who's just being like, no, don't know what you're talking about, nonsense.
Oh, he's been suspicious of God the entire time. Don't worry about that. That's been catalogued in that's been catalogued.
Godot's just obstinate.
It's just like he's just taking advantage of the spellman.
You hear a nursery rhyme.
Just nodding people walking.
Something like that.
Oh, nice.
He was
Long
He wasn't actually he wasn't actually expecting anything, and the fact that something was there.
Is that from
That's
from
from
Button Elm Street? Yeah.
It's the Freddy song.
God. Okay.
I'm
Wolf
sorry.
Hunter's house.
Yeah.
So you hear a collection of creepy shit running through Antoinette's mind.
Now, is it weird that Vash is actually weirdly confident that there are actual thoughts in the head?
The thoughts.
They're
Yeah.
thoughts. There are thoughts. He is confident that she actually thinks. It may not be complicated.
Every now and again, in the middle of this sort of lilted nursery rhyme, you'll get this sort of sudden flash of sort of faceless terror. And then we're back to Humpty Dumpty. And just this very brief flash of
Bash will get that flash and do a quick double take and shake.
Are you quite well?
Antoinette doesn't seem bothered by it at all, really.
Rictavia was quite correct. You are very interesting.
Are you taking all the tigers?
Yeah, with me. Following. Exactly.
Okay. So to get to just out of interest, to get to the Watchers, not to the Watchers, to the Wolf Hunter twins, you would go past Blinsky's shop on the way there, because it's down past Blinsky's shop and then round and out along the east gate. So not that you would want to go there necessarily, but you will be taking her past Blinsky's.
Oh, that's fine.
Do I see, can I read?
I don't know. Can you read?
I don't know.
That's your character thing.
I'm going to say no. Would I recognise Blinsky's shop, though?
It's full of toys, and it's full of puppets in the window.
I'll tug on Bash's arm if he's next to me, and I'll be like, that looks fun.
That's Blinsky's shop.
I'm Blinsky's doll.
Oh, I think you are very much your own person.
Okay. It's past.
Enjoy wrestling with that in time.
We'll chat to the other dolls. See if they're aligned to it.
I don't want to derail this session, but I will absolutely go in there.
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Why won't you talk to me?
I will actually, while we're there, if it's possible, I'd like to just buy some supplies for some tinkering. I'll do in the future, like gears and stuff like that.
Yeah, so...
Presumably a doll's shop would sell that sort of thing?
Yeah, Blinsky's got all sorts of random sort of stuff for articulating jack-in-the-boxes and things like that. Oh, sorry, what did you find? You found...
A
Sorry.
name tag that says, hello, my secret identity is... Johnny Two Daggers.
What
100.
what you managed
900 platinum?
what you managed to do with a 29 or something ridiculous wasn't so much pick his pockets. You've managed to pick a ring off his finger.
What's there? No, I wasn't
Might
there.
would I see young
No.
Atterbury having a look at that ring?
Because you're blind.
I could.
Would I be able to... I don't know, would you hear with someone saying...
The blind thing is a real issue.
Blind thing's a real one. I did not plan on the familiar ever not being there. This belladonna better be really very helpful.
What and the ring looks like what?
I thought you were gonna
It
die.
looks like a golden, very expensive ring inlaid with lots of tiny stones.
Ethelbry will also know that that is capable of identifying magic items.
Is there anything engraved on the inside of the ring?
So you look,
Like my wedding anniversary, so I
you
don't
look
think
at what, and it would
My dad had the same thing.
it would appear that the stones on the front almost seem to make like the almost like the patterns of the surface of a brain on the front. And you look, and then it's sort of you're not sure. And they're very tiny. You look on the inside. There is engraving on the inside, but you don't recognise that you can't. Well, you can't read at all. But you don't even recognise. You don't recognise the script. You don't recognise the script either.
I speak
If you
6
trusted
languages.
that
Can't
enough.
currently read.
I trust you more than these two, because at least I've been travelling with you for a period.
Because I could
Completely
identify.
trustworthy.
You don't even know my name. Like,
Child.
yeah,
Child, priest,
Sebastian,
vampire doll,
you
we're all
make
good.
me this.
Interesting. And straight away, I Eldritch Sight.
Magical.
Can I hold on to this? I'll give it back.
Ethidwe is the best at actually getting loot. And overall.
I'll find it quicker stuff.
Yeah, you don't have to ask. I can always pick it back up for you.
Valid point. And I won't even ritual cast. I'll just straight up cast Identify.
Identify. Ring of Mind Shielding.
Ooh. That's advantage on intelligence saves, isn't it?
So, you are immune to magic that allows other creatures to read your thoughts.
Damn.
But he picked the pocket when that's how I was able to read his mind. That's why my detect thoughts didn't work on him the first time.
Right. That's very handy. Is it just that?
Determine whether you are lying. So, Zone of Truth doesn't work. Know your alignment. Not that that's ever relevant because you're just all chaotic. Know your creature type if that were relevant for any. And creatures can only telepathically communicate with you if you allow them to.
Oh, that's very cool.
So you can choose not to have people chatting in your head if you don't want them to.
Doesn't give an intelligence boost, does it?
No.
Shame.
This
Desperately
is
wants some
quite an
intelligence.
interesting find you have.
What are we looking at?
And I'll hold the ring up, but making sure that it's close to everything, so I can take it
I'm
back.
standing on my tiptoes.
This ring shields the mind.
Very helpful. Mind is an important tool.
It also, if you don't want people to speak into your mind, they cannot. You got focus of conviction. Also, there's a spell I'm aware of, Zone of Truth.
It's very useful, yes. I myself am trained in that.
This allows you to lie while in the Zone of Truth.
That's convenient.
Very convenient. It was also on your little friend, the circus operator.
Perhaps we should return it rather than taking randomly things from people.
I like the idea of
Is that bad?
Yes.
I think, in general, taking things from people who are using them is not what you ought to do.
I get the OG members of the group and
But
I cast thee out.
what if they're using
It's
this?
not my place to cast judgment on it.
What if they're using such things to hide the nefarious nature?
I think the presumption of the nature being nefarious is an assumption you have made. For all we know,
At this
they
point, it's a
simply
foregone
value their
conclusion.
privacy.
You a politician?
I am no.
Just speaking in like political phrases that make nothing.
The fact
So fitting. Goddo.
I think it's better with you. Nobody ever suspects.
I mean, I'll hang on to it if no one else wants to.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's alright.
I think the werewolf was taking over me. I'm getting a little less filthy.
Your patience is gone.
Yeah, you've had no sleep.
Yeah.
So you are right at the end. So if you can't sleep tonight because you're still a werewolf, then by tomorrow you'll be into levels of exhaustion. So you are jet lagged and fractious.
Nobody's going to read my mind because all they're going to hear is.
But me constantly reading people's minds. Those
Yes. Once you identify it.
It's because I knew you were playing today, so like,
Okay, so you go past
Ring of Mind Shield.
a ring of mind shielding is in.
Wait for it a while.
Yeah, it should be in there.
can I have a look at the writing and see if I can read it?
You think you can read the inscription?
I do.
Can I look at the inscription to see if I can read it first?
Mhm.
Okay, what can I read? I can read Common and Elvish.
No.
I can read Celestial, Common, Elvish, and Infernal.
I can read Undercommon.
I can't read it, but if anyone can identify the language, I know Abyssal, Sylvan, Primordial, and Celestial.
Malachi can read it. It's in Celestial.
Nice.
What is
I
it?
can also read Celestial.
Like in that case, Antoinette can also read it. It's in Celestial.
That sounds like Celestial.
And the script inside says, defense of the mind must always be of utmost priority.
It's a lot of words from inside of
Celestial.
Celestial's a very dense script.
It's very dense script.
to rule them all.
It's more hieroglyphics.
There's a lot more than that.
Yeah, I was going to say, the One Ring's got more than that in Elvish, which is like a long script. Yeah.
Well, one letter means like a whole letter. Look at there's like just a whole bunch of J's around it.
This will hide me from anyone knowing if I'm dead. Huh? That's amazing.
I wouldn't be surprised if he actually did do that.
What's that?
The language for that. Like, found a way to make that actually fit.
Yeah,
Oh, the ring makes,
I mean, the prop has
the ring makes you
has it written
invisible.
on it in the-
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, the actual language would be.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, he's literally got it.
Yeah,
I've got one. Yeah.
Is that in the?
Because Tolkien was like the language of Mordor.
And like picking up anything
What's
from
that
the rings
language
as well.
called? Is it?
In terms of...
It's just the
It
language
says
of-
if you die holding the ring, it can hold your
I'm
soul.
trying to figure this out.
Is there a soul in the ring?
No.
Is there a soul in the ring?
If you die holding it, your soul gets transported
Yeah,
into the ring.
so.
And you can telepathically communicate with anybody wearing it.
That's neat.
Yes, there isn't anybody in this ring.
This really cool ring. And it can
But
be
you gotta
invisible.
remember, it was written on the pages.
No.
What was written.
That's what it says.
Yeah. So we
You
might
use
be...
an action to cause,
Yeah,
cause
so
this
we
ring-
might... Yeah,
cause
so...
the ring to become invisible.
Yes.
I
was
this
gonna
is
say, it
literally just
doesn't-
a ring of power.
Yeah.
I was
going
gonna
to
say,
ring invisible
so-
they can't see.
so-
That's what the rings of power do.
Yes. So the ring can be invisible, which is why it took 29 to nick the bloody thing. Yeah.
You stole an invisible ring.
He stole...
Like, feeling up his face.
Which is why you could see it, because he was no longer wearing it.
Now, no one can tell I'm undead. I can lie to anyone. No one can telepathically communicate
Who
with
said
me.
it's yours?
After we gave it to me.
I thought he just gave it to you.
I got it.
That's because
What's
apparently
your
Ethelbreed doesn't lie,
Wisdom.
ever.
No one's
pretty
no
well.
one's going to try and interrogate it.
Giving that to the person with the lowest.
They're trying to execute a 14-year-old.
My wisdom's dead zero.
Yeah, because
It's 10. My wisdom's
Okay.
powerful. It
Are
shields
you
me from
going
my
into
risk.
Blinsky's? Ring excitement
I don't want
aside.
to derail the campaign.
If you want to go into Blinsky's, we're going into Blinsky's.
I'd like to duck in there as well. If we
Okay, we're going to Blinsky's. Okay.
Actually, very
So,
interesting.
I don't think anyone's seen Goddo's fancy shield yet. Either.
And while we're
Mm.
in Blinsky's, I'm taking the time to attune to the ring.
Okay, fine.
It takes an hour to attune.
You probably won't have an hour in Blinsky's
No,
unless
but
they
I'll just
really
attune-
get hung up in
I'll
there.
put it on and just keep my hand sort of under my armpit or in my pocket so no one can see me.
Yeah.
I'm sort of like, I'm here without my mom today. Last time I was here, I was in Carly getting to meet my mom.
Yeah, that was freaky. So you go into Blinsky's. The doors are open and the little bell rings, ding ding, and as you walk in, and this little man jumps up from behind the counter and goes, "Good morning, Blinsky. What can I do for you today? Lots of customers."
What were we debating going in here? I mean, we get to see Emma's Blinky accent, so well, let's do it every time.
You love Blinsky. Okay, it's a shame the pie ladies are dead. Let's just say that you killed all my pie ladies.
Well, when a hag coven attacks you,
You killed all my pie ladies.
Wigan's finest.
Wigan's finest pie ladies, and you killed them all.
Amanita. Oh, no, not Amanita. What's her name? Antoinette.
Who are you? Yeah, I don't know. Who are you?
Too many A names.
yeah, they deserve
Antoinette
every
skips over
final
to-
response.
Any dolls on display.
So there are lots of dolls on display. There's lots of puppets. Ethelbreed will remember that the last time that you were here, Blinsky was showing you the toys that he'd been making for the festival of the Blazing Sun. So the Festival of the Blazing Sun, where there were all the Strahd puppets, and he'd made like a blazing sun, and that you could pull the strings on either side so it spun, and when it spun, all these blades came out of it, and then you could use them to saw through the puppets and defeat the evil.
That's horrifying.
It's Blinsky.
Blinsky makes excellent toys. I think you'll find.
Does he have dolls where you can take the head off and like a knife?
It does seem like his style, doesn't it?
Roll, if you're looking around Blinsky's shop, roll an investigation check.
He's the Addams Family's toy maker.
He's a lot of things, is what Blinsky is.
I just walk over to them
Just
and I say, hello.
Oh,
Oh, at the dolls, not at Blinsky.
I will talk to
you-
them.
so you're talking to the dolls.
Yeah.
Let me just
I'll
get
be
that right.
keeping an eye on it for now.
Okay. Blinsky, Blinsky's watching you. He's watching Antoinette. Seems very distracted for Blinsky. Normally he's like trying to sell you everything that moves. But he's very distracted by Antoinette at the moment. So you're going around talking to the dolls.
Yeah.
So there's puppets, there's Strahd puppets, there's sort of vampire puppets, there's puppets that look largely like lots of different townsfolk that you think he's sort of made as a sort of bit of a joke. There's nesting dolls within each other, which starts with like a big baby doll, and then the next one down is like a grandmother doll. It's like a young doll, and then a teenage doll, and they get smaller and smaller
like
and
a
smaller,
reverse.
like a reverse one, until the tiny little skeleton after the crippled grandma doll, and then there's a tiny little skeleton doll right in the middle. There's all sorts of dolls. None of them are talking back to you as you go around, and Blinsky's just completely transfixed.
While
I
Batch
just
is
get increasingly
trying to keep
sad.
an eye on Antoinette, he's also looking for any dolls that resemble any of us.
Okay, roll an investigation check.
Blinsky's transfixed on Antoinette. did you say?
Antoinette.
That's a natural 20 to 24.
There are no dolls in here that look like you or anybody else in the party.
As a prank, I'm going to find like
Oh,
a
God.
life-size doll and detach it and tie my hands and feet to it and just stand there like this until someone walks past, and then I'm going to go, ah.
Okay.
I walk up and say, hello.
You can you crack on and do that.
Oh, no.
You tie yourself into one of Blinsky's marionettes. That's fine. So Blinsky's like, who are you? Who are you? You look very.
Antoinette.
And he
Her
cocks,
head turns all the way round to say hi to him.
and he has this huge smile, big eyes, and he goes, "Show me your shoe."
Leg goes up
And
like,
the
at a
shoe-
90-degree angle.
And the shoe says, running, "It is a miracle. It is a Blinsky doll. I made you 35 years ago I made this doll, and I have not made one like you for many years. Where have you been, and how did you learn to talk and move all by yourself?"
So you didn't do this once.
In order of importance, where and also how you alive.
Is Blinsky written on the shoe like Andy is on Woody?
Yeah.
It's got
Pretty
in no fun, in no Blinsky kind of stamped onto the bottom.
They don't
So
make
really
this
crude. Now it's much more. It's sewn as a tag into the clothes of the softer toys. Yeah,
Budget cuts recently.
yeah,
Really not what it was.
yeah. Some of them are still carved.
This is new to you as well.
Well, she is not new to me. This doll was made about 30 years
Not-
ago in this very shop
The
by
fact-
my very own hands
fact
when
is-
I was a younger man.
The fact that she's walking and talking is new to you.
She was not walking and talking when she was in the shop. She was
I was
like
in the
all the
orphanage.
other dolls.
I was in the orphanage, and then I woke up.
That is amazing. How did you wake up, my dear?
Well, I opened my eyes, and I was up.
We're still trying to work out how that happened.
Well, this is amazing. I will take more of my toys to the orphanage straight away and see if they can make them all wake up like that. That would be amazing. I could employ the orphanage to wake up my toys. That would be good for business. business has been better since the festival stopped. It is true, but after the break-in, I am still trying to recoup my losses.
I think you may find
There was a break-in?
This one may be
There was a
quite
break-in.
unique.
I think everyone deserves love, and if they get love, they can wake up.
May I ask you, which of these dolls do you think might wake up? And I will send them straight away to the orphanage.
Point to the one that Chris is in.
And he goes to that one, and he goes, I do not remember. Show me your foot, doll.
There you go, lower.
That is not a Blinsky doll. He has been in my shop before. He was here with his mother not a day or so ago trying to buy toys. He is not a doll. He is pretending. But if you tell me which dolls you think might be able to talk, I will send them to the orphanage right away.
Can I choose a couple that look the most like me?
Yep. Go for your life.
I just go and I pick out pretty much every single doll.
You go, and he looks slightly... I cannot send all the dolls to the orphanage because they do not tend to pay me for the dolls. You can choose 3 dolls. I will send 3 dolls to the orphanage if you think they may come alive.
Okay. Yeah.
How much are the dolls?
Well, these dolls are 5 gold pieces. These dolls, they are very much hard work. They have strings, and he gets them and he starts to make them dance. And he's actually quite a good puppeteer, so he makes these marionette dolls dance, and they are quite jerky and slightly
Like,
freaky, and then the head turns all the way around.
You're going to give them 3 for free, yes?
Well, yes.
Well, then I would like to pay for 2 to be sent there as well.
He looks very happy. You are a good man, you are a kind man. Would you not like one for yourself? Maybe one of these Strad puppets. They are very, very, very...
I think
And
you should
Vashon
buy
is giving
one.
the look.
Okay, 5 for the orphanage. And he starts to package them up behind the counter. He's
And
very happy. He's more happy than you've ever seen Blitz.
He'll turn to, perhaps you'll have some new friends.
I like new friends.
Okay, so we have new friends going to the orphanage.
Very important.
So now that Malachi found out that she found a wife in the orphanage,
Yeah,
he's starting to piece together that
2 and
That
2
the
makes
Mike Energy
27.
might have been
Oh,
she
yeah.
might have been like summoned from like the demon that was corrupted, that corrupt medallion or whatever that was in there. That we
Yep.
Wait until you see me cast some spells.
So I'm gonna be like,
It's entirely possible.
so I'm even more suspicious of
I'll ask.
you. Thankfully,
Blinsky
more
to
I
dolls
reach
won't
up and
come
grab
alive
your
if
hand.
that's the case because we just got rid of that.
I grab Malachi's hand.
Immediately.
Don't touch me, thing. Malachi. Be nice to the dog.
No.
Antoinette, I think you're safe over here.
Antoinette doesn't really care and just skips out of the store.
Was that absolutely necessary?
We don't know how evil this thing could be.
Does she seem evil to you?
Yes!
She's the happiest one of us all.
Yes!
I'm singing a nursery rhyme as I leave.
And that's terrifying.
Blissfully happy like a child. She's innocent.
You are a man of fact, yes?
Yes.
Oh, I've seen you wield power from that.
Yes.
You can sense evil, sure.
Sometimes. Sometimes it's hidden.
Do you sense evil on the doll?
I'll do like prayer thing. See if I get a message from God to say it's evil.
You could detect evil, good and evil now?
Oh, I've got it.
I thought there was a cleric thing you could just...
No,
it's
it's
evil.
paladin.
No,
I felt
that's Paladin.
Which is really weird, quite frankly.
You think the clerics would be...
I never prepare it. I never prepare it.
It's so rarely useful unless you're doing
I'm like, clearly evil.
Yeah.
I'm like that. Like, yeah, clearly evil, clearly not evil. Yeah, really
Oh,
bad.
actually,
They make good use of divine sense.
what I could do, because I think she's come from that cursed item,
Yeah.
would I think remove curse would get rid of her.
You just kill Antoinette.
Right before I get counterspell.
Before we leave, I
Wow.
give her my stuff from Blinsky.
That's one way to tell if she's evil. Remove curse won't work if she's not evil.
Might I make a small suggestion?
I didn't tell you guys that I'm going to do this.
Sam?
I like
You
the
could- yep.
exterior of Blinsky's shop. It looks cool.
I'd shop there.
Whoops, not my door.
Yes, what did you...
Oh, I was going to say, I want to see if Blinsky has like reject stock or anything.
Are you dead?
Rejects. Yep.
Anything you have that you no longer have need of.
Hey, Blinsky not make rejects. I have some supplies. I would be happy to sell to a fellow craftsman.
Hey, good.
If,
And I'll show him my fancy like armband expanding shield that got a hold.
Yeah, basically when you say that,
that is very nice. It would be nicer if it had little spikes that maybe screamed when it came out and went, ah! That would be an excellent surprise.
I tend to try to be a little quieter when I do things, but screaming spikes could be.
I tell you, if you let me study how you have made that at some time, I will give you some
That
supplies,
sounds very agreeable.
and I could make this for children to play. Rah!
Wasted in situations like this. That's what most of them are for.
You would sell it only to children, not to the town soldiers?
He just looks really confused.
Yes, good. No, that makes sense. Yes, that sounds very agreeable. I mean, need use of it now, but if I come back later.
That is fine. I trust you. You have the talking Blinsky doll as a friend.
Yes.
So, and he goes out and he gets a whole load of sort of cogs
Brilliant,
and
wonderful.
rivets and bits and go.
Gotto is like feeling all of the stuff in the bag because they
So we
can't
all
currently
just see
see.
his shield come out.
Yeah, Gotto wears no armor at all. Has like one gauntlet on their left hand that can fold out into a shield when they need it. That's the
Which Blinsky wants to emulate.
As a child's toy.
As a child's.
And amend maybe with some screaming spikes and other accessories as a child's toy. So that's fine.
Read out what the roof curse does, just in case there's something you want to do.
You can read out remove
Okay,
it.
so at your touch, all curses affect one creature or object end. If the object is a cursed magic item, its curse remains, but the spell breaks its owner's attunement to the object, so it can be removed or discarded.
So you cast removed curse on Antoinette, and her head spins all the way round twice, and she looks really very sad. And while that's happening, and then she just looks at you and goes, "Why?"
Why?
I don't trust you.
Dissension in the party. Dissension in the party.
She does not appear to be at least remove cursably cursed.
And
Did your gods
I
tell
didn't
you
think so.
anything?
But, you know. Well, she's not cursed.
Good.
and when
You're the ultimate. All I'd like to
When-
say about it.
when Malachi turns back to look at the rest of the party, Vash is in his form of dread, staring him down.
So what do you want, vampire man?
Leave the doll alone.
Well, I looked for it. I was just testing to see if she was evil.
Let's all take some deep
It was your idea.
cleansing breaths.
I
I
can't
asked
breathe.
you to sense if she was evil, not try and destroy her.
Well, it
You,
wouldn't work if she wasn't.
Goddo, you feel this. You don't feel that your hawk is dead.
Oh, this is interesting.
You
Oh,
don't
Hang on,
feel.
stop talking.
Everyone, yeah.
You don't feel that they're dead. You, it can only be described as a weird sudden nausea.
Oh god, they've eaten the belladonna.
Oh no!
Malachi, you have my greatest respects, and I cast Find Familiar.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, as far as you're concerned,
It's
they are
not-
still
they're
alive.
still alive for now. My
So
understanding
you
of
think
belladonna.
they probably found something. Yeah.
Okay. With my understanding of belladonna,
Yep.
if they eat it, they'll
Yep.
be dead within like minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll leave it for now. Malachi, how much do you need this belladonna? Do you think?
Pretty bad.
Okay.
It is. The infection has already affected his temperament.
I don't have anything to say.
Okay, so you're heading to the address that for the
I'll
Soldar.
remain my eyes. I'm gonna put a hand on your shoulder.
Okay, so you head to Vengi and
Between the two of you skipping.
Holding one of their hands each.
Yeah.
oh my
So I
goodness.
guess I'm a little suspicious of you, but I'm still suspicious.
Okay, you find this sort of ramshackle shed for the slightly on the outskirts of Lucky, still within town walls, but really beaten down. Not a sort of nice looking part of town. The doors are all closed. The shutters are all closed. It's pretty quiet.
Is it like a vicious
If I'm attuned to the ring,
There's some guard dogs like wandering the streets, but they're all very thin and underfed.
if I'm attuned to the ring, I'll make it invisible.
Okay.
Shall we knock on the door?
Yes.
Sure, we shall.
Whoa! What do you want? And you hear this sort of, and the door opens, and this sort of really unkempt, clearly just woken up, sort of late teens, early 20s, big lad that you recognise from the bar the night before, opens the door. What? It's early. What do you want? It's like sort of just after lunch, maybe.
We have to talk with you about a very important matter. May we come in? Thank you, and I'll start walking forwards.
What the fuck? Oh, man. Oh, blah. Vengi. You're not really getting anything
No,
other
no,
than,
I'm preemptively having it off the interrogation.
You become hungover.
Yeah, you've got that sort of awful hungover. My head is here. Why these people? Yeah, like in waves.
20 feet.
Yeah, in waves. As you go in, his brother sort of staggering out of a sort of bedroom at the back of this sort of shack. Oh, what do you want? What are you doing here? Bloody hell.
Can I throw a rock at them?
Fair. Fair.
Yeah.
With telekinetic, so it's just an invisible rock that flies.
Does the rock just
Yeah.
straight
Go for your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I roll to?
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah.
That's a 20. Hang on. If it's mage hand, what would that be?
In terms of,
I was just going to use my mage hand to throw it. Would that be my strength or anything still?
spell attack, shouldn't it?
Or
it
spell
should,
attack?
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that'll be 21.
Okay. It hits.
I'm sorcerer.
Okay.
It hits. They are unarmored in a tunic, staggering around, drunk. So
Whack.
or hungover. So yeah, they get hit by the invisible flying rock.
Can I
And they're looking around.
Can I
And
please pull out the hammer that I've got wrapped up and show it to them and see what their reactions, or listen for what their reactions.
what the fuck are you doing? And he's like rubbing his head.
Mind reading.
Mind reading them. At the moment, it's all just sort of waking up, perplexed confusion. Fuck, my head's sore.
You should
I
throw
will-
rocks
I will
at children.
use
Did you
prestidigitation.
throw that rock, doll?
I will use
throw anything.
prestidigitation under both of their noses, like basically like smelling something.
And they start vomiting in a corner.
Charming.
Hopefully they'll be more cognitive in a moment.
We're
Maybe
here
you're
to
not
talk
sick of that.
about. What's her name?
Yelena?
Yelena. We're here to talk about Yelena.
Why do you want to talk to us about who's Yelena? What the? Where? And again, not lying, just
They're in a-
really confused about who these people are in their house and why they're getting hit by
When
stuff.
I
and
see
Woman from the
any
stockyard.
water, like in a bowl,
not
or
a
a cup,
huge amount of water in
but
this
like in
place.
a cup or something.
You can see a bottle of wine. There's no running water in the shack. There's no washing water. No,
Just a cup of water.
no, nothing. There's no cups of water. There's half a bottle of wine. That's all there is in here of liquids. What the stockyard? What about the stockyard? For God's sake! What What's going on? What do you want? Why are you in our house? Oh, why?
Elena is dead.
Okay. And?
Is this your hammer?
No.
I'd like to cast Zone of Truth. It's a 15-foot radius. I'm assuming that's just the house.
Okay.
That's a. So the way they can willingly fail the save. If they try to save, it's a near DC 13. But the casting of that, I'd like to say to them, we need you to tell the truth now.
Okay.
I'd like to try and convince them to willingly fail the save.
I don't understand what is going on here.
That's all right. You nothing to worry
They
about. Just tell us the
don't
truth.
resist
Wonderful.
at all.
Cool. Do you recognize this hammer?
It's a hammer. They all look the same. I mean, I haven't got a hammer like that.
We found this in your storage unit.
Well, I don't know how it got there then. Because, the only hammer we use is a tankard to, hammer down more ale. Isn't that right, Yengi?
Where are you getting ale?
Well, it's wine, isn't it?
Well, here's the story, lads. This hammer was found in your storage shed, and there's a dead woman there.
In our shed?
In your shed. So,
The hammer was in your shed, the woman was near.
so we need to
She
work
got
out.
hit in the head. You said hammer.
So we've got to work out what's going on. Otherwise, you guys might be getting caught up by the town guard, who are pretty keen to find a. What's the word?
Haven't they already got someone?
Yes, but this evidence turns to you.
So unless the next knock on
Right.
your door is going to be the town guard, you might be in your interest to help us with this.
Well,
one.
Isaac ain't going to come round here because Isaac's already got someone, hasn't he?
Well,
But you weren't aware of them being dead.
Do you?
And you know that someone's already been caught.
Oh. Word gets around. There's been a murder. There's a kid in the jail. You've just told me that it's a woman at the stockyard. I've put two and two together. Unless there's been another murder. Has there been another murder while I've been asleep?
Not yet.
Ah, okay.
Beat that short by a quarter of a second.
So you guys don't own the weapon.
Says the guy who tried
Do
to
you know
kill
anyone who would want to
I did not!
put you guys in the frame?
Tried to remove the curse.
Well,
Does
Do you have
anyone
any
else-
reason that you can think of why they would want to put you in the frame?
well, Rictavio, he's pretty bloody crazy.
Yes, but
I mean, he's keeping something in his wagon at
No
the
kidding.
stockyard. We wanted to have a look at it. We tried to get in, and he came running at us and yelling like some crazy. Told us to.
He was
Oh,
saving
so-
your life as a tiger.
Yeah, that's what you say. So he's a bit of a loony.
do you know who else could have gotten into the shed? Do you have a key you gave everyone? Have you lost any spare keys? Anything like that?
I don't know. How did you get in there?
The owner let us in.
Oh, exactly.
Right, obviously we know of him, though I meant otherwise.
Well, I mean, he's got keys, hasn't
Yeah, we've established this.
he? Yeah,
Other than him,
yeah.
does anyone else have keys?
I don't know. We've only got a key to ours.
So, no.
Where are they? Are they still with you?
I don't know. And he's looking around going, I don't know. Not been down there a while. He's patting his thighs. He's not wearing any trousers, so he's literally just patting his thighs. He's like, I don't know, young you, you've got the keys. Where are the keys? Oh, I don't know. Well, don't have a look. And they start to wander around, sort of looking under things, like when you've lost your house keys. Like,
Sloppy work.
what?
In the shed. The work. It was sloppy.
Don't insult the witch.
It's practical.
What are you saying?
You've done a poor job. The skins were badly damaged, poorly extracted.
Well, some of them fight hard.
That's why you killed them first.
Well, we did
Generally the order.
Well, we did kill them first, but
Mm.
some of them are tougher than others. Sometimes sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's a bit trickier.
Mhm.
I'd like to see you do it. You don't appear to be able to see nothing.
Whoa.
I would wager without sight I could still do a better job than either of you.
Or maybe we should take that as a wager.
I would be most endeared to.
Excellent. I'll see you kill one first, without any sight, and then we'll skin them. We'll do it as a race.
What are the stakes?
Maybe another day when we're not trying to investigate a murder.
There are other senses that are more useful than sight.
Morning Lord.
Give me a minute. If I win, you'll help us with the investigation.
Do we really want their help?
They
The
could go
weapon was
places
found
we
in their
can't.
place. Like, you've got to know at
It's
least
not
something.
idiots.
That's a valid point. Even drunk idiots have their uses.
What help do you want?
We've found the weapon used to kill a woman in your shed. And we want to find out how it got there, who put it there.
Well, okay. There's been lots of weird stuff down there. Rictavio, he's like super weird.
We've established this.
Van der Voort, you know him. Coffin guy.
Weird how.
Yeah, well, he had some strange, like, hooded figures down there one night, a while back. Not seen him. Yeah, hoods. Not seen him for a while now, but that was like maybe a week or so ago. He was down there with some figures.
Mm.
I don't know. We weren't even around, like, every night this week since we got back from the last Wolves. We've been in the Blue Water Tavern.
My zone of truth is still up yet?
Yep.
Cool.
We've been in the Blue Water Tavern, hammering down, well, I like to think of them as beers. Sometimes if you go to Kresk, you can get beer, and then there isn't any here. So it's wine. So we hammer that down instead. And you hammer down the wines, and then you come back here and, like, you sleep, and then you go back there and you have something to eat, and you hammer down some more wines. So I've not even been there for... we dropped off the pelts when we came back into town, not been there since.
And when did you drop off these pelts, did you say?
Oh,
A week ago?
yeah, 4 or 5 days ago when we got back into town from the last hunt. Ask Unwin. We've been down there every night.
I believe that. I know you're not lying currently. And
Saw you there last night.
indeed.
You obviously didn't drink enough, but you'll get used to it.
Do you know anyone else who'd be holding a grudge against you?
Against us?
Yes.
Wow. Probably,
Imagine anyone disliking this fair and their charming personality.
probably Scran on the grounds that he says he'll buy our hides off us, and then he doesn't, and like won't give us any money that he owes us.
Who's that?
The leather one.
He probably has it in for me.
He owes you money?
Well, yeah, he said go out and get me some hides, like some wolf hides, and I'll buy them off you. And then we go and get them, and then he won't pay up.
Why won't he pay you? It's
Well-
poor quality work.
He said he couldn't make anything out of them. I say that's his fault, not ours.
Fascinating. Alright. Do we need anything else, though?
Could look around the house, investigate.
Badger's gonna help you.
Antoinette starts skipping through the house, just mindlessly looking around.
And they're kind of watching you, and you're skipping around. Eventually, if you roll an investigation check. You find some trousers that you really wish you'd not found. It's just grim. These sheets haven't been washed like in ever. Somewhere under the bottom of the bed you find a key, which may or may not be for the you
Can I
know,
grab the key?
yeah.
Yoink.
You grab the key. It's like stuck a bit to the
Oh.
floorboards. It's gross.
But that though is a good sign. It means that perhaps it wasn't them. I think we can rule out this thing.
Short of powerful magic, they can't lie at the moment. So
Yeah.
it seems like-
And they're a little
Unless
dead.
they've got
so-
rings of mind.
Actually,
as well.
just to clarify, you're saying you didn't kill.
That
Yelena.
up slightly.
Thank you. You didn't kill Yelena.
Why would we want to kill Yelena?
You're saying you didn't kill Yelena?
We didn't
A
kill
yes or no
Yelena.
response.
No, we didn't kill Yelena.
Well, next on the hit list,
I had Hennessy.
shall we go see Scran? Scran?
What is this? Why have you given it to me?
It was under their bed.
Okay.
These
I
hooded
don't like to steal things, so you know.
I hand it to Abigail instead.
Yoink.
these hooded robes you saw Henrik with. Had
Yeah.
you seen them anywhere else before?
No. We were just dropping stuff off, and you know, he had people up by his place at the top, and you know, weird, wearing robes, wearing hoods. I don't know. Keep myself to myself. Dropped our stuff. Went back to the pub.
Henrik's dead, so that's...
What night do we reckon the
The hoods
murders
might
took place? What night do we reckon this hoods took place?
The murder took place. Probably the night before you got, or the day before you got back in town. So as you were heading back in.
2 days, yeah.
So yeah, 2 days now. So they've been back in town 5 days.
So I was ask them what they were doing at that point in time.
They were in the inn.
They were in the inn getting drunk. They were either in the getting drunk or being hungover or being asleep.
Yep.
They have a very straightforward.
Very simple existence.
Yeah.
Can I suggest out of game that I think we split.
Yeah.
I think one group can put input in here, like I'm just talking off the top of my
No,
head.
go ahead.
One person, I mean, our point of, we've obviously got some information, but what's our in? Like, we've got this hammer.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's anyone that could be using a similar hammer. I think
So
two
So-
people.
Someone's
That's
Well,
probably
I
Scran.
think Henrik would, someone to have a look
Yeah,
at
they
Henrik's workshop, even though he's dead,
Yeah.
just to go and look, see what sort of hammers he uses.
Yeah.
I can be one. And then I think Scran might be a good
Scran,
one because he was
because he
mentioned there.
And
See
Horik.
And Forrest.
Horick from the blacksmith, and the other one would be Connick from the cart and wheel, because they
I can
make
hit the,
they make wheels and carts.
I can hit the Undertaker by himself.
Okay.
There's nothing there. Well, there's no body. There's no people there. So.
Okay.
Alright, so how,
I'm probably better tagging along with someone.
Yeah, okay.
alright, so who's taking what?
I'll take the Undertaker.
What's the Undertaker?
Wait, are we
Henrik.
sending Antoinette off to speak to someone?
Oh yeah, the
Or-
coffee maker.
You're going with that.
Okay.
Alright.
Just checking.
Okay.
We'll go to, the two children, the child and the doll. We'll go see
I just
Scran.
figure I can get through the Undertaker.
Okay.
So
Can I
I'm
go
already
talk
wait.
with
from
cart
the
maker
layout,
or
and I
the
can get
blacksmith?
let's go to the blacksmith.
Let's go with
Okay.
blacksmith.
I figured I'll go to the Undertaker. I'm familiar with the layout.
Who's taking
I can get in
the hammer?
unseen, and I can get through it quickly.
I think
I
go just
doubt
wait
it.
and take the hammer.
I know
I
what
think
it looks
that's
like.
it's most likely that it's going to be something like the blacksmith did.
You'd think blacksmith or cart maker.
You take a mental.
You've got minor illusion yet?
Yeah.
Do you have
I
minor
can,
illusion?
yeah, I do.
Cool. You can produce a thing with the hammer then.
Alright, cool. Alright.
Okay.
Sorry to do this, Emma. I just thought it was probably
No,
a
it's
quicker way
fine.
of covering
So
it.
we'll resolve it in order. So let's do Henrik van der Voort's first,
Okay,
because
so
he's
I'll
probably
use
not
my,
there.
my loot to go invisible,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll sneak in.
Okay. So
Who's going to see you?
I want to be sure that no one sees me go in or out.
Oh, go in. Oh,
so
I meant inside.
so
Go for it. That's what they're like.
so you sneak in. It's pretty easy because there's nobody in there. There's a couple of rats. What are you looking for?
Would you like one as well?
And
You
this
went
is
back in
cool.
your
Beautiful
list.
I've had like 3.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for to see if he uses similar hammers and if one's missing.
Okay. So you
So I'll be going primarily through the workshop.
Yep. So you go in, you know where the workshop is because you've been there before. There are all these half-finished coffins and planks of wood propped up, and there's a big tool bench there. And on the tool bench there is a set of chisels and planes and hammers and one thing, and it's beautifully organised, and all of the tools, as far as you can tell, appear to be there. There are hammers of a similar size, but they're slightly different. The shaft of the hammers are different wood. All of these match. There doesn't appear to be anything missing, and the heads of the hammers are darker in terms of the metal. All of his tools appear to be there, as far as you can ascertain. And the hammer that you've got would seem out of place with these tools.
So it doesn't look like this set of tools.
It doesn't
I'll
look like the
do
same set of tools.
a quick sweep of the whole building to see if there's anything else of interest,
Okay.
and then leave.
The upstairs has been like completely trashed. You have no idea why. Something happened here. Like
That's exactly what happened.
There's crates open everywhere. There's like
giant frog's footprint.
there's yeah.
Acidic bile sitting on the.
Yeah, there's no blood or anything, but it's like somebody's been through here. It's like totally trashed. Other than that, there's nothing. It's pretty
Then
deserted.
I'll duck out and I'll head towards where Ethidri and Antoinette.
Okay, that's fine. So, Ethidri and Antoinette, where are you going?
We're going to Scran.
Okay.
Cartwheel guy instead.
Koenig,
Kind of
Halfinger,
half-finger. He's not covered
runs
so
the cart and wheel.
Yeah, I can go have a quick look around there invisible. Yeah, no problem. Easy.
Okay. So
Snoop around, snoop
yeah,
around
so you've
there.
not met him before.
We'll just have a quick snoop around there.
Okay, so you head off to Scran's. As you open the door, Scran recognises you as soon as you walk in. You obviously were part of the party that were going off to find their daughter, up in the mountains. Oh, how are you? And you, friend. What can we do for you?
You've heard about the unfortunate incident that happened at the stockyard.
Unfortunate incident? You mean a murder?
Yes.
No, I wouldn't say that's an unfortunate incident.
It's not unfortunate.
Well, it's more than unfortunate, isn't it? Some poor woman is dead.
Oh, of course. You're implying that it was fortunate. that was not my voice saying. That was my inside.
The voice is in there.
Screen, as part of that, I know you had a lock-up shed within the stockyards, and obviously that's where the murder took place. So we're just trying to go through our preliminary investigations. This is big words for everything. I'm trying to draw up on all the what they call murder mystery shows I watch and draw upon the lingo they use. Just trying to So, do you mind if I ask you, when was the last time you were at the shed?
Oh, we went up a couple of days ago. We went to get some items. I've got like storage out at the stockyard. Oh, 2 or 3. I didn't really go into the I went up there to get a few things. I saw Koenig. You know Koenig? He runs the cart and wheel.
Okay.
There were some blokes, probably blokes, maybe women, hooded figures, knocking around a wagon on the outskirts up there. I skirted in the back entrance, down at the bottom, went up, got some more leathers, bought them back.
Yes, and as I'm like for week, I'm kind of looking around, seeing if can I see like his tools and stuff like that.
No,
I'm
this
staring
is
directly into his eyes, trying to see if there's anything.
He sort of looks at you and goes, "Are you okay?"
Insight checking as he's talking.
Insight check. Everything he said, you could not fail an insight check so far. Everything he seems to have said's up on the.
Oh, natural 20.
He seems 100% on the level.
Okay.
Slightly perplexed about why you're asking him all this stuff.
Was Yelena there when you were there last?
I didn't see her, but that's not unusual. Toad let me in. I went and got my stuff. I said hello to the young lad, and then came back again.
Yeah. Did you get along all right with the young lad?
Oh, he's a nice enough lad. He's a few teeth shy of a proper wolf trap, if you know what I mean. But other than that,
Can I just ask,
he's a nice enough lad. He means no harm.
What were you talking to Fred about?
I passing the time of day. Hi, how are you?
Okay.
What's been going on? I make him things sometimes. I made him a little purse to keep his coins in. Yeah.
How is the leather trade lately?
Oh, pretty good. I mean, it would be better if we could get some decent hides. I don't hunt so much these days, and there aren't so many good hunters around.
Oh yes, have you bought pelts off those Zoldar and Yevgeny fellows?
No, because they couldn't skin a. You should see their work. It's completely destroyed. There's nothing. They kill the most beautiful beasts and then just completely butcher the carcass. I'd be lucky to make a pair of socks out of them.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting trade. So, would you mind if we have a look in your workshop? Just, curious lad as I am, and curious lass as she is.
I'm just rocking back and forth.
Can roll a persuasion check.
Do you mind if we just look in your workshop, just 'cause?
I've always wanted to be a leather worker. I just became a thief out of something because I had nothing else.
Necessity.
So you're a thief?
No, did I say thief? I mean, artifact removalist.
An expert treasure hunter.
Yeah, persuasion. 16.
He goes.
Well,
You keep your hands where I can see them, boy, and I will show you where I work.
I take my hands off.
Import it.
Can you-
Cherry ethically speaking? No, Cheryl's not on today. Sorry, you missed the backstory.
Okay.
Yeah, you grew up in a brothel called the Faded Cherry.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. So you've taken your hands off. You keep them where put them on your head where I can see them, and he takes you.
The hands off and put them on a head.
So he takes you back into. It's meticulous. There's a stack of leathers. There's a cutting table, and then a sort of big sort of almost C-shaped room with a big cutting table down one side, and then shaping equipment, and then hammering and stitching down the far side. It's absolutely beautiful.
Do you tan the hides here or outside?
We usually tan them outside. Why?
Oh no, just to didn't recognize the smell. I can usually smell around these sort of places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you? And so, if you're looking around, roll investigation.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm not there. I can't see inspiration.
21.
Nice.
yeah, not so good.
With a 21, you can also see all of his tools,
Yeah.
You get some inspiration.
and you recognise a hammer of the right size. But again, there's a full set going from a very tiny detail hammer right the way up to something that might be more useful for sort of beating out much bigger pieces. There is a hammer of the right size. Again, beautifully all laid out on a wall above the crafts bench, nothing missing.
No, actually, in second thoughts, I've had my head rammed into a. No, I'm not going to say that truthfully, but yes, I've accidentally stumbled upon a tanning area before in my younger days.
My younger days of
Yeah.
6.
Pretty much.
From what I've heard, the Martikov, Arnold Martikov's going to tan your hide if you don't stop leading his boys astray.
yes, well, yeah.
Keep your hands on your head until you get all the way out of here, lad.
Anyway, we'll leave you be. Any idea, just off the top of your head, who might have cause harm to Elena?
Well, I can't think of anybody who would particularly want to kill Yelena. Apart from, I don't know. I saw Horik Ginch one night, really late, rolling a barrel out of a warehouse. He must have woken her up because she gave him a right earful. I heard her yelling at him. He huffed a bit and then left. I saw her get out of bed and roll the barrel right back into the warehouse.
Any idea what she was yelling at him about?
Well, it looked like he was taking something that didn't belong to him, and she caught him. He legged it off. She rolled the barrel back into the warehouse, and I went home.
And what's Horace like?
Well, you know, he works at the blacksmith. You know, he's not the nicest. He's not the nicest of people, but you know, everybody each to their own and all that. I know worse people.
Okay. Well, thanks very much for your help.
You're
Think of anything for the station?
okay. Okay.
As we walk out, can I get you to help me put my hands back on?
Oh yeah.
Because he said,
Put your hands where you can.
Oh, okay.
so she did, in a slightly freaky way.
Guys, can you give me a hand?
Okay. So where are you headed?
Blacksmith.
Blacksmith.
As we're walking towards there, I'm going to say to Malachi, I'd like to get this done quickly. I'm going to use disguise self to look like Isaac Strasny.
While they're
Okay.
headed
to the blacksmith, we'll meet up with Vash and we'll head to Quanix.
Okay.
So that'll be the next protocol.
Okay, and that's
After these boys, we'll meet up with Vash along the way to Quanix.
okay. So you are heading down here. So that's where the blacksmith is.
In
And
case this goes terribly, maybe I should go in by myself first.
What are you gonna say?
I have my little rat.
you've got a rat now. So-
hang on, actually, let me check.
So the
Just
cart and
magic
wheel is up
concentration.
here. So this would be the.
This
So you've been here.
Sorry, I can't do that. I won't do that because I can't do
Okay,
that.
so you've been here before. So this is the cart and wheel, which you've never visited. And then this is the Habendash, which is the sort of music store and fabrics and things. This is the Thimble's Armaments down here. This is Third Eye Potions. Then the bookshop over there. Jodvich and Sons. And that's Scran's up there. So you've come out of Scran's. The cart and wheel is here. And the armaments place. So you're all on the same square. Yeah? So you're not, screaming would work
If we
fine.
spot
Yeah.
any of the other people up.
Yeah. Okay. So you're heading down towards.
You two will be just walking and Bash will just be in between.
Come on, Vash.
Just the invisibility will have worn off as I'm walking beside.
So you're walking down to Thimdall's Armaments, and you remember that the blacksmith here is called Pearson Rowley, and he's got an assistant, Horick Ginch, who you met very briefly because you deal most of your dealing with Rowley.
Yeah.
So you walk in, and Ginch is there, as is Rowley. You can see Rowley sort of through the back, tending the furnace, sort of hammering away.
Mr. Ginch.
Yeah. What's with you?
Sorry?
What's with you? What can I do you for? What are you here to buy?
We think we found one of your tools. Do you recognize this hammer at all? And I will reach into my bag and then minor illusion a hammer without blood on it.
Well, could be one of ours, I guess. We have hammers like that.
You
Do you normally
don't
take
know
them
if
out
you've
of
lost
the
one or
blacksmith?
Well, I don't know whether we've lost one or not. I've not, looked to count them all. I don't do a routine stock check or anything like that.
Do you ever take them out of the shop?
Not usually. Why are you asking?
We found a hammer and we thought perhaps it was yours. But if not, then I'll mind putting it back in the bag because obviously it's just an illusion.
Okay. What's all this about? Are you here to buy anything or not? Well, what are you doing wasting my time then? If you're not here to buy something, then get out.
We're investigating something and we want to ask you some questions.
Okay. Fine. Who gave you the authority to ask any questions?
Isaac Strasny.
Oh, Isaac couldn't find his own arse.
That's why we do it.
Makes sense, I guess.
Okay. Where were you the night of whatever night it was that you
The
were
night before last.
I was here with Rowley, working late into the night. We do a lot.
Here at all?
What's
No.
your insight?
Yeah. That'll be a 22 on insight.
Lying.
Lying, yeah. Okay, cool.
Can I please say to them, it would be very helpful if you could tell the truth.
How do you know that he's lying?
Oh, sorry.
Can your boss back up this alibi of yours?
What? I'm sure he would. Does he need to? Am I under arrest for something?
Not yet.
We'll get to the point. If you want to speak to Rowley, speak to Rowley. If you want to speak to me, speak to me. If you want to buy something, buy something. Otherwise, just hurry up and get out. You'll be cluttering up the shop for actual customers.
Do you know Yelena from the stockyard?
Of course I know Yelena from the stockyard. She worked at the stockyard.
When did you see her last?
I don't know. Last time I worked her, she was screaming at me like a banshee.
Yeah, when was that?
Day before yesterday, maybe. Picking up some stuff from the warehouse. Accidentally woke her up. She came and shrieked at me. You know?
Just before you had your all-nighter
Yeah.
here at the shop.
Yeah.
So when you start work at like midnight or something?
Yeah, sometimes. What's it to you whether we work late?
'Cause
As long
I
as the
just
work
asked
gets
you
done.
I just asked you where you were all of the night, and you said you were here
I was
the whole
here.
time.
And then you asked me the last
Yeah.
time I saw Yelena, and I told you the last time I saw Yelena. Which was the
completely
last
carries
time that
your
we
story.
went. It was the last time. No, it was the last time that I went there. I was taking something out of the warehouse, and she was screaming at me like a banshee.
What was she screaming at you about?
I just told you I took some stuff out the warehouse. She came. She screamed at me. I'm like, okay, lady, and then I left.
Do you think someone should be smacked around if they scream at you like that?
Are you suggesting something?
Yes.
Why would I smack a Yelena?
Maybe you didn't like the way she talked to you.
Well, if anybody killed Yelena, it was probably those bloody wolf hunter twins. I mean, they threatened to kill her after she yelled at them for sneaking around the stockyard one night. She yells at everyone. That's just what she did.
How do you know she's been killed?
Well, you told me you were investigating and you were asking loads of questions about Yelena and Toad's in jail. I mean, do you think I live under a rock just because I work in a shop?
Smacked her around. I didn't say she was dead.
Yeah, but Toad's in the jail
Yeah, you
for
could've-
like murder. Like word travels quickly. There hasn't been a murder in Vallaki for a really long time. It's big news around these places. Do you think I live under a rock? Do you think I'm stupid or something? Are you trying to suggest that I might have done it?
Yeah.
Do you want to go outside and fight about it?
You could. I don't think you'd like the outcome.
Oh, the confidence.
We could do a less peaceful supply, a more peaceful supply.
And what would that be?
I was just
Yeah,
thinking,
that's fine.
like an arm wrestle or something.
Alternatively, I can know if they're lying, and they can confess.
Yeah, we could do that. I already know he's
Okay.
lying.
All you need to do is say that you did not kill them. I'll cast Zone of Truth,
Okay.
and again ask them to willingly fail the
Chewing
save.
through the spell slot.
I've got one first level spell left in me,
For Hunter's Mark alone.
hopefully.
So you're
So I'll cast Zone of Truth and say if you allow me to cast this spell on you,
why would I allow you to cast a spell?
it will let us know that you're not lying when you say you didn't kill her. If you're innocent, then you can simply say that. We'll clear this matter up, and we'll leave you alone.
That's a 13 on the dice. I think he's...
To try to save.
Yes.
So I know if they try to save, I believe.
Yep.
Cool. In that case, I'd like to grab some manacles,
Mm-hmm.
and my intention is to
He's got a -1 to wisdom.
Oh, okay. In that case, it's 12, so it still fails.
So he's failed. So he tried to save and misfailed.
Okay, that would be resisting the spell. Did you kill Yelena?
I don't think so.
It's an interesting answer.
What did you do to her?
Nothing she didn't deserve.
Did you hit her with a hammer?
You got any evidence to suggest I did?
Did you hit her with a hammer?
They can be evasive. They can be evasive.
They just can't speak a lot.
What, that hammer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rowley's hammer.
Did you use this hammer?
I've used that hammer.
Did you use it to smack your line with it?
I may have hit her once.
In the head?
That's a confession.
Or twice with the hammer.
That's a confession.
Okay.
You have the murder weapon, you have a confession, you have a suspect. Case closed.
Instead, I think.
Is there anything else you want to tell us before we take it easy?
She was annoying.
She was in the way.
She was in everybody's way. If it wasn't me, it would be somebody else. There was a queue of people.
Is there anyone else involved?
Not this time.
Does this have anything to do with the hooded figures who've been meeting at the stockyard?
This trade where supposedly they shouldn't be trade. They're not allowed in the city walls. Some stupid rules. But they need things. We have things.
Very good.
We sell the things. What harm can come of it?
Okay.
Very good. I will take out some manacles and take off them.
He is going to resist that.
And you're not going to be able to resist the two of us. I suggest you make this easier for yourself.
I'm not going quietly. I've seen what Izek Strasny does to the people in his jail.
You'd let a child die for you to avoid that? An innocent child?
What, Toad?
Yes.
Yeah, he's strange as. He's strange as. Nobody would notice if he wasn't here either. You know, if Izek wants to hang him, then let him hang.
I'd like to use my Ranger Monster Slayer Stalk Prey ability, which is a bonus action, and if you'll let me on the same turn, I'll use Favoured Foe, which is a bonus action as well.
Okay.
The idea being that now, yeah, now if I hit him, I'll do a ton of damage.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
You want to grapple? Yeah, so that would be contested athletics.
Ranger was good. Can I help at all?
Yeah, if you can.
Physically grab on. My
Yeah,
strength's not
you
great,
can
but-
tell me how you do that. You can do it.
I've got a set of manacles, so ideally, as they're trying to struggle, I'll try to get the manacles on.
Okay.
the hands.
Oh, so you help him, so that's
Yep. So athletics.
that'll be a 15.
That comfortably beats his athletics. Comfortably beats his nat 1 in athletics. Well, no, he 2 in
I
athletics.
hope you kill anyone.
Hit us from behind.
So while I'm grappling him, get the manacles on,
Manacles on.
and I'll whisper in his ear as it feels the smacked by an old man.
Are you trying to start a fight?
Oh, it'd be glad he's not a bard. That's a vicious
And you
mockery
go-
waiting to happen.
Not as bad as being manacled by a blind one.
I'll just
Tape in his mouth or something like that.
then we'll start to lead him out of the shop.
Mhm.
But before we do so, I think we should probably tell Olmo.
Yeah.
Pop your head round to Rowley and go,
Yeah.
by the
Rowley,
way, just take
Your
a biscuit.
worker just confessed the murder. We're taking him away.
He's just coming to hang out with us.
Sorry, buddy. You might have to work overtime tonight.
Hang out at the jail.
Rowley looks and goes, it saddens me to say that I am not surprised.
That Zone of Truth's an area-based thing.
Yep.
Would he be included in it?
Yep.
Do I know if he's lying when he says that?
He's not lying, and
He's
he
not
didn't try
lying.
and say. He's just quite happily making weapons, and he's like,
Good to know.
yeah, the guy's always
Sorry for your troubles.
Yeah, I kind of saw this coming.
yeah. Yeah,
Well,
not
start
enough of
leading
a
him
dick
up
to
to-
not employ him, but, you know, it's not a great surprise. Oh, I always knew he looked like a serial killer. I think it was the way he wrote those funny diaries with the slanty writing and, his walls completely papered in photographs of this woman from the stockyard. Yeah. Now I know
And
that.
and that pension he had for torturing small animals.
Yeah, now it comes to it.
It all
It's
began
all a
with
bit
the
strange,
child.
isn't it?
it?
So you have
The other night it came-
you have
came
a
back to the
suspect.
shop.
You have a suspect, a confession and a weapon.
I think
Where are
that's
you headed?
probably good.
Well,
Is
straight
it?
to Isaac, yeah.
Yeah.
But we see these guys in
I was like, presumably,
Yeah, you're
dragging
all
a
sort of.
cuffed person through town's going to cause a commotion.
Well, you're all sort of around the
I
square.
think
So.
we need to go. I think we need to follow them now.
Yeah.
I think they've got our person.
We've got our guy.
We've got-
So you're heading back to the guardhouse. You see Isaac Strasny sitting sort of on a chair outside the guardhouse, looking not physically beaten, but emotionally exhausted,
Marlene's ripped him a new butthole.
and just worn. And you look at his arm that sort of that catches fire, and it's almost this sort of, normally you've seen that weird arm that he's got that sort of pulses with fire, almost looks like lava. It's more of a sort of dull, glowing ember. Like everything about him is just like,
As we approach back, we go, I see Harleen caught up with you.
that woman can talk.
Yes, she can.
She's not happy about the dolls.
I
Not,
just cocked my head.
not you.
Oh
It's a
God!
different conversation.
And he looks at you because he's not met you, and he looks at you and goes, "Who? What are you?"
Not the murderer. And then I point to the
Oh,
we have
And-
your murderer and a confession and a weapon.
Confession, no weapon, also case closed. You
I can. And he's still just sort of looking at Antoinette, going, "Well, I can maybe now see what she was worried about." Okay.
At this
if
point,
it-
Vash will
fine.
drag Antoinette off a little bit and explain the Harleen situation with the dolls.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what happened.
Yeah.
He'd just be reiterating.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is-
Harleen
this is
explained that
one-
Harleen said to was like, "I'm not speaking to you because you're a doll." Yeah. So I said, "Bring me a weapon and a suspect
Hammer.
and some evidence and things that it wasn't this young boy." You've got a hammer. Excellent.
We've got the murderer in cuffs.
Horik. Horik
Yes.
grinned. Horik, did you kill Yelena? And Horik's like, "No, these people are complete fucking nutters."
Of course. Yeah.
He needs to make a save for me, please.
I don't have a second level spell slot left.
I'm just going to make.
Can I try an intimidation thing?
Yes.
Can I message into his head
Yep.
and be like, "Do you want us to?" No, my voice just went really weird. "Do you want us to draw it out of your head? We can do that again." And then she'll just like head cock and smile.
He needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Roll an intimidation check.
19.
Ooh, okay. Not bad.
And he, and I will roll his wisdom save with disadvantage
The intimidation.
on the grounds that he is now
Teamwork.
fucking
Terrifying.
scared shitless of the doll with this.
I don't feel sorry.
Okay, so that's a 5.
Murderer.
That definitely fails.
Should we do that instead?
I did it.
Vash will lean in very, very
I'm not a fan
I
either,
suggest
but
you
I'd
tell
rather
the
him than
truth.
this boy.
All right, so fine. So I whacked Elena with the hammer because she was just fucking annoying, and you hear Toad sort of scream from inside the guardhouse. You killed my mom! You killed my mom! And he's like, oh, shut that little tadpole up, little bastard.
Another wisdom save.
I'm going to, while I'm holding the cuffs, I'll kick him in the knees so he's kind of down on the ground.
Okay. 17.
I was going to command him to be silent.
And he looks at Isaac and he goes, who are you going to believe? Yeah, this lot or me? I've lived in this town all my life.
As has Toad.
Yeah, he's younger than me. I've lived here longer.
Can
I'm just
I...
gonna stare again.
These out of towners.
These out-of-towners or me, I've worked here forever. You know me.
Isaac, you have a magical nature with you, yes?
Isaac leans forward and just sighs this huge big sigh and leans forward and he grasps Horich, because you've still got him manacled, around the throat with his fiery hand. And his hand, and you see...
Starts to warm back up.
It starts to warm back up. And he's still sitting in the chair and just stands there and goes, look, Horich, like, if you hit her with a hammer, it would be a good idea to just say that before I burn your head off. And Horich's like, fine. I smacked her in the head a couple of times with Rowley's hammer because she was just in my business the whole time. But there's loads going on down at that stockyard that you just don't even know anything about. And you might want to look into that sometimes, Isaac. And then spits in his face. And Isaac sort of gently heats his hand up and leaves these huge burnt handprints. Doesn't kill him, just leaves these huge burnt handprints around his throat.
As tempting as it might be to instantly kill this man.
Oh, I'm not going to instantly kill him. I'm going to hang him at dawn.
But maybe it might be worth using him for information to find more criminals.
I'm going to hang him at dawn in the square as a reminder to all in Vallaki that murder is not tolerated here.
And Toad will be set free.
I will release him now for you. I only have one cell here. I will throw Toad out and throw this man in. I thank you for your work. Please give Danny my regards for her company this afternoon. I'm sure I will see her again soon. Thank you. And he sort of grudgingly drags the manacled Horrick Grinch into the guardhouse, opens
Before
the
he
cell.
goes, I'd like to just say to him, even if it's as he's walking off, Toad and Gunther have suffered a terrible loss. You've taken his son for him and threatened him with death. They could perhaps use some financial compensation to aid them in this time.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great for everyone? And he looks just whatever. And he gets Toad out of jail and goes, "You're free to go, boy. Don't be talking to any more Vistani." Gets you into a lot of trouble. And then he throws Horrick in and goes, "You haven't got time for a last meal. You've already missed dinner. You'll hang in the morning." And bolts the door. And then padlocks the door and then takes his seat outside and sits back down again in his arm sort of looks like it's gone back to sleep, and he goes back to contemplating whatever horrendous emotional trauma Harleen has inflicted on him for the last 6 hours.
I think we've done enough here.
Just one more thing. Does it mind if I have another word with the prisoner?
Feel free.
I'll
Don't kill him.
I won't kill him.
Might I join you?
I think dawn seems like a good time for that.
Was Toad's dad with him?
Toad's dad has now come up, yeah. So you sent, when you left the stockyard, Gunther's come up to the jail. So Gunther's here.
Like, Gunther can walk in
Yeah,
around the-
Gunther's, he's not walking home alone. Gunther's here. And is like sort of watching all of this unfold.
Does Toad give us a bit of a shake of the hand and a thanks for...
And well, at the moment, everybody's still talking, but yes, they're sort of waiting off to one side to you know.
We'll go. You guys can go talk to the baddie, and we'll go talk to Toad.
Yeah.
Do that.
So Toad's like, "Oh, thank you," and you gave him lollies, so he likes you, and he goes,
I'll give
"Thank
him
you."
another
And
few
I've
sweet
never seen I've got a Blinsky toy, and it's never come to life. And like, if you can tell me how you do it, then I'd like one that comes to life, and then I'd have a friend.
You just have to love them a lot and really, really wish hard.
Okay, right, I'll try harder. Okay, yeah.
Can I
And
hug him?
he's like this, like
Joy's kind of.
he's like a
okay.
gangly 15-year-old, like, oh, okay. And Gunther's like, thank you. I don't know how to thank you for what you've done, for bringing Yelena's killer to justice and for freeing our son. Thank you. I'm going to take him home now. But thank you so much.
All the best.
Thank you. And they head off. You're going to speak to Horik?
So I want to go up to Horik and say that Horik,
Your
this is your
raven's
last
back
night
in range. Yeah.
alive on this planet. There is nothing I can do to change that fact. What I can offer you is a last meal. I can go to the Blue Water Inn, get you anything on their menu, and I'll bring it back to you if you can give me some more information about what's going on with stuff.
Can you give him like the last rites or something?
Yeah, I can do that too.
Give him a confessional or...
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah.
deserve it.
Should be able to, yeah, do that and follow that.
Only the Morning Lord can judge him.
It's true.
He goes, a wolf steak and beets would be most appreciated.
Cool. What can you offer me?
You bring me food, then we can talk.
Alright.
That's fine. Oh, we could just say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go.
So you brought,
I'll go with Malachi, and as we're walking there,
Yeah.
Malachi, I would not. Your actions are your own. I would not presume to change them. However, I would not begrudge those disallowed from entering the town attempting to do so to buy goods. I think there is little need to tell Isaac of such a thing.
I have no idea what you just said to me.
The Stani that are going to these illegal markets aren't allowed in town.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to tell Isaac about it. I don't think there's any harm in them buying.
Also, any information I get off this guy, I should pass on to Izzy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Or
okay.
not look into it at all.
I think it's
I think it sounds like I shouldn't get him food or something.
no. But I think it's very noble that you're offering him this last service. But I would be cautious as to the response Isaac would have knowing about that.
Yeah.
I think many others might
So,
hang if we
you
let the wrong thing know.
you bring him his food.
Yeah.
Okay. He sits down and as he's eating his food.
Before I do.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah. Okay.
betray me with
He-
this, I'll just immediately
He says. So he said that I owed money to the Vistani. I like to gamble, and I don't earn enough to pay some of my debts. A one of the Vistani from the encampment outside of town, Zintori, I think saw an opportunity to gain entrance to Vallaki. He convinced me that if I could sneak him into Vallaki, then he was just coming to take some wine, and our debt would be paid. Once he came in with a wagon full of bodies that we had to take to Henrik, and we delivered them there. Every time there was a shipment, I had to steal a bottle of wine, a barrel of wine for him, and then he would move it and sell it and make a profit, and one thing and another. I've heard him speaking to a dark elf called Rahadin. I do not think he is good. I think he plans a significant break-in, and they're going to rob the warehouse at the stockyard.
Do you have any idea when this is going to take place?
Very little, I'm afraid. I know that I know they have plans. There are supplies there they could sell in Kresk and Barovia for large amounts of money. I think he may also be trading information that he finds from inside Vallaki to this Rahadin.
Does this Vistani normally dwell in the same sort of place as the other Vistani just outside of him?
So there's a Vistani encampment just outside the west gate. So that's not the same Vistani encampment that you met earlier.
Okay.
There's two main encampments in Barovia, one down at the Zare Falls, which is where Madame Eva was. There's one outside of Barovia, outside of Vallaki, and then there's lots of sort of mobile travelling caravans around the place. So you've not been to this encampment, but there is an encampment there.
Okay.
And he's the sort of one of the leaders from that encampment.
Okay. And does Rahadin live with them?
You know the name Rahadin. Rahadin is
He's on his
Strahd's right-hand man.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You've met
Previous
Rahadin.
Yeah, he came with the caravan.
He came with the carriage to the funeral,
Yeah.
and
Sent us sweet desserts.
you were asleep when he carried you downstairs. I think for
for
dinner.
Yeah.
After
I
you
know
all
who
fell
it is.
asleep when you opened the chest, but Rahadin was there as well.
Well, I think we know what our next mission is.
Donald will say, I must take back what I said earlier. I was very mistaken about the situation.
So we should tell.
Your actions are wrong.
Okay. So we're leaving him there for the night.
Yeah, I'll give him his last rides.
Fine. As you're walking back, I'm assuming towards the Blue Water Inn, the sun's going down, heading into the evening, a hawk lands on your shoulder,
Oh, good.
slightly unsteadily, but lands with a branch of belladonna
Oh,
Thank
in
you,
its
Samuel.
beak,
Right.
which Etherdwy recognises immediately. Etherdwy's got these huge, covetous eyes, because you know what you can make out of that. And that's where we'll leave it.
Yes, I will.
feast your animals.
Indeed. Yes, now that